Hello and welcome into Poughkeepsie, New York for the matchup between the Red Foxes and the Beacons. Both teams standing at looking for their first conference win of the season. Marist 0-7 on the season. Valpo, they got 2 wins on the season. Now joined by Tommy Armstrong. And when you look at this matchup, both teams looking for that first win. We're going to mention it throughout this entire broadcast, and it's been a struggle for both sides. Valpo, 2 wins coming up against Division II, Division III opponents in which they've been nail-biters. They beat a team by 8 points in overtime. Then they were able to beat a team by 3 points earlier on in the season. So it's been a tough season for both sides.
Yeah, that's the story coming into the game. Both teams really looking to try and find their groove and finish off the season strong. Valpo picked up a couple of wins early on in the season, but since it's come to conference play, it just has not been the best story for them. Marist, on the other hand, we've mentioned it every time we've been on the call for these home games. It's a new coaching system. Coach Mike Willis comes over from Princeton, leading this team. A lot of new changes. It hasn't led to the best results so far, but now it's about finishing the season strong and seeing how Marist can come through in these last few games.
Marist, the rest of the season, besides playing Drake next week, all teams that they're going to be playing against, all teams that have not won a conference game just yet. So when you talk about it, it looks like the end of the season might be a little bit easier for Marist. But in terms of the offense, Menino at starting quarterback for them. He's been at the starting position for quite a while now after Arjona went down. There's been some positives from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, that's one of the big changes. Start out with Enzo Arjona leading the way when it comes into the season. He goes down with a hand injury. In comes Sonny Menino. Unexpected, but he's had some great games. He's shown some flashes. Last time we were on the call here at home against St. Thomas, Menino goes ahead and ties the Marist record for passing touchdowns in a game with 5. It was a game that they dropped, but were in the entire time. The offense looked rolling. But then you come into the last game. Marist just unsuccessful, only putting up 6 points in their West Coast trip to San Diego. It's time for Menino to find his footing again, bounce back here at home.
Also, the last game that Marist played in at home, kicking issues were a big factor. Missed a bunch of extra points, missed field goals. How do you change? What we don't know what the scenario is going to be today if they're going to end up kicking, extra points and field goals. But how do you kind of adapt in that situation where, it's kind of It's an unknown at this point.
It's one of those areas you really just don't look at when you head into a game, the kicking issues, but it has been a big problem for Marist. The special teams, they've missed their last 4 extra points that have been attempted and their last field goal. They've not made a field goal since September 21st in a game against Bucknell. So Marist has opted to try to go for the 2-point play a lot after touchdowns, but that too has been unsuccessful. They've missed 5 2-point conversions in the last 3 games. So those extra points that add up when it comes to the end of the game, it has not been Marist's area of strong suit. So it'll be interesting to see how they play it. Do they opt to kick? They really haven't found the kicker this year. Or is it just going to be rolling out the 2-point conversion from the start, which, again, has been unsuccessful? It's going to be an interesting story.
Inexperienced kicking for Marist. However, it is homecoming day. Sean Stellato will be in the crowd, so we're going to see a bunch of fedoras up in the air. I know you got yours earlier before the game, but now it being homecoming, the last 2 home games of the season for Marist is kind of where the vibe in general here at Tenney should be a little bit more electric than it might have been in the middle part of the season.
Absolutely. You always get the Parents' Weekend game early on in the season. The stadium gets packed, but here you go. Homecoming. The next one, you got Senior Day with the home games. Couple of themes coming in. And then one of the biggest storylines in New York football of last season, Tommy DeVito slides in at quarterback for the New York Giants after a couple quarterback injuries with Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones. DeVito balls out, but his agent on the sideline, Sean Stellato, sporting some of the nice suits, the fedora on the sidelines. He was a media sensation last season, a Marist alum, and here he is back where he once played football at Tenney Stadium, now with the captains at center of the field for the coin flip.
Graduated in 2002 here at Marist College, and now they are kind of honoring that 2002 class here today. You can see, at the crowd, but just over a minute to go until we see first kickoff. And when you look at both sides, the biggest thing is going to be the basics, because you talked about the offenses. We're not expecting a juggernaut offensive game just based on the 2 sides. Overall points formed in the conference, to last. Both teams are last in terms of scoring points overall. Marist second to last, Valpo first to last. Valpo scored 22 points in the PFL so far in the PFL conference game. So that's something to look out for. Who's going to score more points, and that's going to decide who's going to win this game.
Yeah, Valpo has only played 3 games in the PFL, had 1 game postponed. That was against Stetson, so 1 conference game they couldn't get under their belt. However, like you mentioned, in those 3 games, just 22 points, averaging just above 7 points per game when it comes to PFL, and overall only averaging 15 points per game throughout the entire season. Similar story with Marist. They average just over 16 points per game. Around that 20-point per game area when it comes to conference play. They've had a couple big scoring affairs, but it might be a story of who comes out of the gate hot and who gets that first score, because looking at both offenses, we don't know how high scoring this game will get.
Yeah, when you talk about a low-scoring game, you usually think special teams is going to be the biggest factor. Marist struggling on the special teams side of things, so it's going to be an interesting game to say the least. PFL football coming up shortly, and, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Tenny. And right now, Marist off to kick. Valpo will receive. Back to receive for Valpo is going to be Brian Thomas and Barrett Levis.
It's going to be interesting to see how this Valparaiso team operates when it comes to their offense. It's not a team with a lot of diverse attacking. They have a dual-threat quarterback in Karen Tyler, and then it's a lot of their running backs carrying the weight, both rushing and in the receiving game. We'll see what type of schemes they come out with.
Gabe Keeson to kick. Kicks it deep, right around the 15-yard line, and the Beacons are able to evade 1 tackler but not get past the 2nd tackler. They'll start at the 28-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Beacons.
And here comes that quarterback, Tyler, that I just mentioned. He's had a couple of big games, a lot of it rushing-wise, 2 games where he's rushed for over 100 yards. And he only has 1 game where he's thrown for over 100 yards. He only has 4 passing touchdowns on the year. It's not a high-powered passing attack, this Valparaiso team. Let's see what kind of run style they come out with.
Expect the quarterback run game to be a factor in this one. Marist going to have to watch out for that one. Tyler is going to be under the shotgun. So far this season, at all home games for Marist, it's always been shotgun for both sides. Tyler gets the ball. He's going to hand it off to his running back, and he's going to be stopped immediately that time. Austin Trimble on the tackle.
That's a big-time stop. You look at Michael Mansoray, the running back for this Beacon squad. He has carried the load on the offensive end, both in the rushing attack and even in the receiving game. Their top rusher, he has 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. Marist going to have to find a way to stop that run to really halt this offense.
Michael Mansoray in the backfield for Valpo. Tight end in motion now right to the right side of the quarterback and Tyler. Tyler gets it under shotgun, looking to his right side, throws it over the middle, and they go backwards just a little bit, and Valpo is going to get the first down, and it's going to be tackled that time by Marist.
Yeah, great connection on the first passing attempt of the day for the Beacons, but a bit of a scary area. Just got that ball over 2 linebackers on the Marist defense. Gets through, however, finds some space in the middle, and Valpo moving the chains. First down of the day.
Valpo is huddling so far after every play. Same thing as well. There's going to be 2 tight ends to the left side. And the quarterback looking for motion in Tyler. Gets the ball. He's going to hand it off to Mansoray. He's got some room to rumble. He's now at the 35. Breaks the tackle. Now at the 30. 25, 20, 10. And he's into the end zone for a touchdown for Valpo. Getting on the scoreboard 6-0. 13:24 to play in the first quarter.
Michael Mansoray with an emphatic run on just his 2nd attempt. Gets stuffed on the first one. Valpo goes with a passing attack on the 2nd play. And then Mansoray just needed 1 play to get heated up. Takes it all the way to the house.
Big play for the Beacons to start things off. Now to kick the extra point, it's going to be Ryan Hawk. Hawk's attempt is good. 7-0, 13:24 to play in the first. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back to see what the Marist offense has in store. Welcome back to Tenney. Now Marist down 7-0, 13:24 to play. So quick drive for the Beacons as it's going to be Hawk to kick off for them. Back to receive is going to be Tristan Shannon, Cardillo as well. Looking to try to get a good return and try to start a little bit better field position this time.
Marist going to need a quick response. The first quarter has been trouble for this Red Fox team as of late. They haven't scored in the first quarter in 3 games, and pair that with they've had an interception in the first quarter in all 3 of those games. It's a tough start. 7-0 down quick. Need a response.
Hawk kicks it deep. It's a line drive kick. That one goes all the way to the end zone for a touchback. Marist will start at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, and you're going to see Sonny Menino come out for Marist.
Sonny Menino has had a lot of success throughout a couple of games. The last time we were here, as mentioned in the pregame against St. Thomas, threw for 5 touchdowns. It was a high-scoring affair. We didn't totally expect that coming into this one. But Valparaiso gets on the board in a minute and a half. And now we'll see what Marist draws up to try and knot this up early in the first.
Next to Menino on the left side is going to be James. Then out wide, the only wide receiver on the right side is Downs. Menino gets the snap, now rolling to his right, throws it over to Downs for a first down. Just around the 50-yard line, and he's going to be pushed out that time by the Beacons.
Welcome back, Will Downs. Downs missed last game, just a bit of a nagging injury, nothing too serious. Had the okay to come play today. And how about that for opening up a 20-plus yard catch to put Marist right around midfield.
And they're going to keep this similar formation with Downs on the right side, the only wide receiver. You're going to see motion by the tight end to get over to the right side. Menino gets the snap, fakes the handoff over to James. Now it's Downs. He's at the 40-yard line. He gets a little bit more room, and then he's tackled that time by Ledendo.
2 hits to Downs right away, and let me tell you, he doesn't look injured at all. A couple nice cuts off of that. Yards after the catch. Will Downs keeping the chains moving. 2 throws, 2 first downs to Will Downs.
Downs now out, so now the only wide receiver to the right side is going to be Mohamed Diawara. Under shotgun again, James to the right side of Menino. James moves now over to the left. Menino gets the ball and hands it off to James. Gets a couple yards, keep pushing, and he's going to be tackled that time by Spellman.
Carter James, another key player in this Marist offense. He's been their main running back throughout the entire season, but they have a deep running back room. We'll see when Cardillo and Tristan Shannon enter the game. 3 running backs and Sonny Menino all over 100 yards this season rushing.
It's going to be about 2nd and 8 for Marist. Menino gets a snap, hands it off to James. Nope, he's going to take it himself. Gets to the left side. That time he's going to be tackled on the end by Buba.
Nice tackle by Buba. He was the only one towards that sideline. Menino could have extended it to a first down if he didn't get there in time. Brought him down efficiently, and Marist going to be looking at a 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5, and you're probably thinking it's going to be four down territory.
With the kicking woes that Marist has faced, especially in the last couple of games, is definitely not field goal territory.
34-yard line. Menino under the gun again. 2 wide receivers to the right side in Diawara, and he hands it off to James. Gets a couple of yards. Looks like he's just going to be right around that yardage. We'll see if they'll give him the first down or not, and they will. So first down, Red Foxes continuing to try to get the offense going. 10:40 to play in the first quarter.
So James gets that first down anyways. They are going to move the chain, spot it in the right direction. However, Marist clearly in 2-down territory. They knew 4th down. They're still staying on the field. They go with the run on 3rd and 5. Smart strategy. You know you have 2 attempts at getting it. James only needs 1.
Yeah, you run the football knowing that you're going to go for it on 4th down. If you don't think you're going to go for it, you're probably going to do a pass play with it being 5 yards. You're going to see Diawara out wide. Looks like James is going to be on the same side as him. And now you're going to see Cardillo go out to the left, and then James is going to go back in the backfield. Cardillo with motion. Now hands it off to James. Nope, he's going to keep it, and he's going to get a couple yards. Gets a block from Diawara. He's going, and he gets out of bounds, but he's going to get a first down, and he'll be at just around the 12-yard line. First down, Red Foxes keeping things going on the offense.
So how about this? This is exactly what the Red Foxes needed. They've struggled coming out of the gate and starting with the drive. Punted a lot on the first one. You've seen Menino give up the ball with some interceptions. Got to capitalize here. Ball at the 11. Finish this drive off.
So Diawara is going to be on the right side. Downs is going to be on the left side. So you got the two wide receivers on completely opposite sides. You got the one tight end on the other side, the other tight end on the other side. So you got two tight ends, two wide receivers, both on opposite sides. James in the backfield next to Menino, and James is going to take it. He's going to get a couple yards, and he's going to get stopped that time by Birmingham.
The first real stuff you've seen from this Valparaiso defense, and had to come to play. It's a first and long trying to get into the end zone. Marist able to pick up a couple, but big first down stop for the Beacons.
9 minutes, just under 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. 2nd and 7. Tristan Shannon now in the backfield for Marist. Menino gets a snap, hands it. Nope, he's going to fake off Shannon, tries to throw it over to Diawara, but it's going to be broken up by the cornerback that time.
Yeah, aiming for the end zone, but we've seen that quite some time so far today from Sonny Menino. These run-pass options, he's kept it a couple of times. That time, trying to get a quick fire on the slant route to his main target in Diawara.
Franco was the one to break it up. He's had two pass breakups so far on the day. Shannon on the left side. All the wide receivers and tight ends were on the right. Now they're moving to the left. Now Downs is in the backfield on the right side of Menino. Instead, he's going to go out wide. Menino gets a snap, throws it over to Shannon, and he's going to be just short of the end zone. Looks like he's going to be at the 1-yard line.
Huge tackle, and now this brings up a huge play. Shannon taking a beating at the goal line, jumps right back up, and Marist wasting no time.
Marist going no huddle. They're going quickly. Under the gun, gives it off to Shannon. Now he's on the left side. Does he get in? Yes, he does. Touchdown, Red Foxes. Now 7-6, 8:21 to play in the first quarter. And now the question is, do they kick the extra point or do they go for two?
It's a very big decision. It looks like the kicker's coming on the field, but how about this Marist trio in the backfield? Tristan Shannon, not a guy who gets a lot of opportunities. His high in attempts is 6 for games, but his yards per carry are incredible. That time notching his first touchdown of the season. It's about time for Tristan Shannon.
Medini to kick the extra point, and it is good. Tie ball game at 7, 8:21 to play in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break. We'll see if we thought maybe it's going to be a defensive battle. Maybe it's going to be an offensive. Welcome back to Tenny. Now tie ball game at 7, 8:21 to play. Both offenses on their first drive got a touchdown and got their extra point. So now it's going to be the second drive of the day for Valpo. But before it's going to be the kickoff, it's going to be Gabe Keeson to kick off. Thomas and Lubis back to receive. Kicks it off. And it's going to be right around the 20-yard line where Valpo takes it. And he's going to be tackled just around the 35-yard line that time. So 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Pretty good field position here for Valpo.
Yeah, a bit of a short kick, able to have some room to operate, get some good field positioning. But how about the answer from Marist? 10 plays, 75 yards, march down the field, able to punch it in. Tristan Shannon on the touchdown. And that's about as excited for an extra point as you could possibly get on that last one. Marist finally connecting after 4 straight misses.
Wide receiver in motion for Valpo. Now he's in the backfield, and they're going to give it to him. And he's going to get a couple yards just past the 40 that time. He's going to be tackled by McCorkle, but it's Brian Thomas who got the run for a first down. So 45-yard line for Valpo and another first down.
Brian Thomas, not a highly featured back in this tandem, just 10 attempts coming into the game for a net of 41 yards on the season, but there he is, used early.
Nobody in the backfield next to Tyler. Gets the ball, he's going to get a halfback wide receiver screen, gets a couple yards, he's going to be at the 50. A bunch of guys for Marist right there for him not to get any room to rumble, as it was Mansoray who was out wide.
Highlighted early on in the game, it's the quarterback with the dual threat ability and the running backs that run this offense. That time Mansoray out wide, just taking the little screen, involved in the passing game and in the run option with Tyler at QB.
7:10 remaining in the first quarter. Tyler dictating the offense. Gets a tight end with movement, and he's going to give it off to Mansoray, and he's going to be tackled just around the 48-yard line. And that time, again, a handful of Red Fox defenders involved in that one, as it was Tremble along with Camestro.
Interesting so far. 2 attempts towards the left side on the rushes for Mansoray, and both those stuffed quite quick. One of them for a tackle for a loss on the first drive. However, it was that right side that really opened up the gap and allowed Mansoray to rip off that touchdown in the first.
3rd down and 3. Empty under the gun. And it's going to be timeout Marist, as they want to make sure they get this big stop here. And you got to think this is a big play here. 3rd and 3 at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Coach Willis just didn't like what he saw from his defense. Had to call a timeout, reshape them, reformation. See how Marist comes out and responds after the timeout. But very important play. Ball on the 48. Definitely in punt territory if they could stuff this. And it's going to be an interesting decision here on what Valpo does. It's not a team that likes to threaten the defense with the passing attack. But here you are at a 3rd and short. Likely going to be in some man coverage, this Marist defense. Do you go for the quick hit, or is it just relying on your running backs and Mansoray to will you to this first down?
So you talked about earlier on, you talked about Tyler having mobility at the quarterback position. We really have not seen it so far. Is this the time to really get Tyler, moving in the pocket?
Yeah, you could work with some of those run-pass options, even have Tyler take it. Mansoray coming into this game leads the team with 73 attempts. Tyler right behind with 66. See how they draw it up.
Tyler gets it. Screen play to Mansoray. Does he get the first down? It looks like he does. First down, Valpo, they get the chains moving.
So there it is, the quick hit, but it's to Mansoray, just feeding the running back, even using him out wide. Interesting coverage on the defensive end for Marist. You didn't see a lot of press coverage and man-to-man working. A 3rd and short. I would have liked to seen a guy more attached to Mansoray on the right side.
Bolden was on the tackle, just played a little bit off like you were mentioning. Now it's going to be Tyler again. This time he's going to have a man in the backfield. It's going to be Mansoray who's right behind him. Looked like there was movement, and there is. It's going to be a full start on the offense, according to the head linesman. So that's going to push them back 5 yards, and now they're going to be back just around the 50. So now it's going to be 1st and 15 for Valpo.
Seeing the Red Foxes have a couple of big stuffs on first down. Obviously, Mansoray ripped off that huge touchdown last possession, but the first carry, the Red Fox were able to tackle for a loss, and then even on this drive, got him for only about a gain of 1. It'd be a crucial stuff here on 1st and 15 just to keep it at 2nd and long.
Same thing. Now it's going to be a tight end in motion, Vickers. And they're going to hand it off to Mansoray. Going to the right side, and he's going to go right back to where they were. He's going to get about 5 yards, and now it's going to be 2nd and 10 for Valpo.
Yeah, early on that's been working. Using their right tackle in Klein to just kind of free up the way. Vickers kind of used as a fullback there, the tight end in motion, getting in front of the running back. And the right side has been working so far for the Beacons. Left side, not so much. So we'll see how they play out those run schemes.
Mansoray getting a lot of the carries for Valpo so far. I've not seen the backup running back just yet. Jernigan was in motion. The backup tight end for Valpo on the blitz is Marist. Are they able to get home? They are! They get the sack. And it looks like it's going to be Nick Jackson who's in there to get the sack.
Nick Jackson, a key player, a beast up front. A defensive tackle. Leads this Red Fox defense. And a huge sack there. We mentioned the mobility of this quarterback in Tyler. Haven't seen him take off. It was one of those plays he was looking to go for it. Nick Jackson able to hunt him down.
3rd down and 17, and now depending on if you're Valpo, you might want to get around to the 40-yard line and think about going for it. Tyler under the shotgun. Wide receiver screen over to Gibbons. He's got a couple yards, and he gets right to that 40 spot. So now it's decision time. Do you go for it on 4th down?
Yeah, real interesting decision. It looks like the offense is going to stay on the field. You're in territory where you could get a good punt off and just try and pin this Red Fox offense. However, you're also at an opportunity. 4th and not too long, 6 right here. You converted on a 3rd and short. Now you only got 1 attempt. The offense is staying out. See what they draw up. They've leaned on Mansoray. Going to have to really kill him in the passing attack here, though.
Also look out for maybe the quarterback to do a pooch punt. Keep the defense off guard. It's going to be Tyler under the gun. Counter or under, trying to get it sacked. It's going to be thrown up, and it's not going to be caught by the defensive back. However, there is going to be a flag on the play. It looks like it could be holding on the offense.
Yeah, and that is what it's going to look like as both teams head to their sideline. A big-time stop. The Red Foxes just breaking right through that offensive line. Immediate pressure on the quarterback, Tyler. Just flings one on 4th. Nate Robinson Jr. had it in his hands. Could have had an interception, but regardless, the 4th down gives a turnover on downs. Might have even been better field positioning to keep it that way.
Yeah, Cowderer was the one who was getting the pressure right away, then wasn't able to get home as he was held, and that's what we're going to see, the holding penalty. You'd expect Marist to decline it, and they will. So 7-7 score after with 3 minutes and 1 second to play in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to action. Movement from the Red Foxes to start off. 1st and 10 at their own 40. Menino under the gun. It's going to be Shannon to his right side. Fakes the handoff, and he's going to throw it over to his tight end that time, who gets bounced out of bounds just around the 40. Who made that play was Willett.
So not an ideal 1st down play, but Marist trying to get some new names involved. It was all Will Downs and the rushing attack on the first drive, this time going to Jackson Willett. Not the tight end that's often mentioned. Jackson Connors McCarthy leads this team receiving, the other tight end. We'll see when we call his name.
Bunch to the left, 3 wide receivers over there. Shannon in the backfield on the right side of Menino. He gets the snap, fakes the handoff, throws it over to his target, gets a 1st down and a little bit more yardage. That time, it went to the wide receiver and Dexter.
Reed Dexter, the vertical threat for this team. They often go deep a few times to him on those attempts. You don't see him too often catching possession short passes, but there he is. Just get him working before you take that first shot.
Now, Shannon from the left side moves over to the right side of the quarterback. Malore on our near side. The handoff, fake the handoff again, and it goes right to Malore for a catch. Tough window that time, and that time it's going to be tackled by Franco.
Yeah, right on cue. You mentioned him right before the play. They give him a quick hit on the right side. Real tight pass there from Menino. Not a lot of space, and great hands for Malore to reel it in. Able to pick up a couple of yards towards the sideline. Just saw the one-on-one coverage. Hits him on a quick curl route. 2nd
down and 6. Connors McCarthy was in the backfield. Now he's moving out to the right side. Then James comes back in the backfield. 1 wide receiver to the left side. And Downs, he's going to fake the handoff over to James. Menino with movement, throws it, and it's going to be batted down by the defender that time by Valpo, and it's going to be Ledendo again breaking up another pass.
A lot of energy on the Valpo defensive side after that swat down. It brings up a critical 3rd, but once again, we just saw a similar situation with the Beacons. It could be 4th down territory. Marist might have 2 plays to work with right around the 42-yard line. Obviously, it's not a chance to give your kicker it, so we'll see how many yards they can get on 3rd.
They don't get it here. They're probably thinking about the punt. Menino rolls out to the left side, throws it, and it's going to be batted down again. So 2 pass breakups by the front 7 of Valpo, and now 4th and 6. Offense remains on the field for the time being, and they might go for it here.
Yeah, a bit of a force from Menino, trying to go over the middle and opposite throwing angle. He had one of his favorite targets with Connors McCarthy on the sideline. Looked like he had some space to just pick up a couple. Now big 4th down.
4th and a long 6. Menino under the gun. Diawara off to the right. And now they're going to look back. There's going to be 5 seconds on the shot clock. And they're going to do a pooch punt. And it's going to be touched by Valpo. Marist comes down with it. But the question is, did Valpo actually touch the football? That's the question. The refs are going to engage. It looked like from first vantage point, it looks like it touched the fingertips of the Beacons.
And that looks like what they're going to go with the call on the field. It'll be interesting to see if they go with review. The Beacons trying to get one of a punt catch over his head from the opposite angle. They already called the fair catch. Could have let the ball bounce. Obviously don't want to get pinned against your own end zone. But a very interesting play in trying to grab it over his head. It leads to what appears to be touched, and then it would be Marist's ball. But now the offense is coming off the field, and the refs say, at least for the time being, it's Beacon's possession.
Well, it was interesting because both offenses were on the field. So Valpo had their offense, Marist had their offense. They had to put their defense on the field. So 1st and 10, just around the 15-yard line for Valpo as they're going to start things. And now it looks like the refs might intertwine and think about reviewing this.
Definitely an interesting call. Coach Mike Willis talking with some of the refs. Haven't seen the challenge flag on the field. It could just be one of those official reviews that has to go to the replay center. See what the ref says on the field.
Yes, it looks like they will go to the replay center. So the ref, who was at the 10-yard line, is now going to have to go all the way to the opposite field, all the way down the sideline to go to the replay center. So in the meantime, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages on WMAR. Well, welcome back. They're still under review, still taking a quick look at it. It's certainly going to be an interesting decision because this is the biggest decision that the refs are going to have to make, at least today, so far in this game, because if Marist has the football, they're at the 15-yard line, and if they didn't have the kicking issues, you're automatically going to get a field goal, but that could be a touchdown if Marist is able to get the ball. 47 seconds left in the first. You get a touchdown. Now it's 14-7 with plenty of time left in the second quarter versus if Valpo gets the ball, they're pinned deep, and that could be a tough decision for Valpo to go all the way down the field, or maybe they're just trying to get a field goal, or you play field position. So this is a big call here.
Yeah, it could completely change the game. We haven't seen any signals. It's important to note that on the radio here, we don't have a monitor in front of us in order to see the replay. So we're still waiting on the call as the refs come out of the replay center. It was definitely an attempted catch off of the punt. Did it skim the fingers?
The play has stand, so it's not going to be confirmed. So Valpo will have the football. So 1st and 10, just around the 15 for the Beacons.
Now Valpo, they've been stunted by this Marist defense as of late in real tough positioning. 15-yard line, backs against the wall. Couple big plays from some key players on this Marist defense.
So Tyler under the gun again. It's going to be Mansoray in the backfield. They're going to give it to him, and they got a hole, and he's going to get a first down, but he gets tripped up by the linebacker in Casanova.
And that was a huge tackle, just able to get the ankle to prevent Mansoray from ripping off another huge run, and it's been that right side attack that has worked so well for the Beacons. Running behind the combination of right tackle, right guard, and Klein and Pajec.
Now again under the gun. Mansoray to the left side. Fakes the handoff. He's going to throw it over to his big tight end, but gets stopped that time by Powell from the outside linebacker position as it went over to the target.
Valpo continuing to chip away as we head to the end of the first quarter. Moving out of dangerous territory in their own zone, but still a long ways to go for some points.
So after the first quarter, Valpo will get the ball at the 32-yard line. 2nd down and 5. 7-7 your score after 1. We'll take a quick break. We will be right back. Well, we welcome you back to Tenny. After 1 quarter of play, we got the same score at 7. When you look at the first quarter stats, it's pretty even to say the least. Marist has 6 first downs. Valpo has 5. In terms of the rushing attack, Valpo leads that with 80 yards. Marist only 62. But passing yards, 61 for Marist and 38 for Valpo. And when you kind of look at this, you know, the biggest thing is there's been less plays for Valpo. 2 less plays, but more yards in terms of they got 118. Marist only 93. Those are the first quarter stats of note. And now we'll be back in action.
Yeah, it's important to mention, a big note of that is the Mansoray 58-yard touchdown that he broke off on the first drive of the game. Valpo, the offense hasn't seen too much action since then. Here they are, picked up a quick first down and then 5 more yards. Coming back into the game, see how they move.
So yet again, it's going to be Tyler and Mansoray. Wide receiver to the right side in Thomas. And then a wide receiver to the left side. It's going to go right to Mansoray, tries to go to the left side, and he's going to be stopped by McCorkle around the 30-yard line. They're going to spot him at the 29, so doesn't get a lot of yardage there.
McCorkle, one of the big forces, a defensive end on this Red Fox squad, making a big play, setting up a third down for Valpo in their own territory. Marist didn't get the turnover off of that questionable punt touch. See if they can give the ball right back to their offense quickly.
So there's a loss of 1 on that last play, spotted at the 31-yard line. Tyler under the gun, nobody next to him. Gets a snap, wide receiver screen, and instead it goes right to the running back in Mansoray, who is out wide, and he's stopped immediately. Gets a loss of 2 yards. Now it's going to be at the 29-yard line, and they're going to have to punt the football.
Read like a book by Austin Trimble. He was on towards our side of the field with his assignment right in front of him, saw the screen happening early, gets through the block before he can even be touched, and taking it for the tackle for loss. This Marist defense has shown up in the last couple possessions.
Sam Johnson to punt. Mohamed Diawara back to return for Marist. And that one bounces at the 40-yard line, and now it's going to be at the 38-yard line. 38-yard line in Marist territory. 1st and 10 for the Red Foxes, trying to get a lead here on their third drive of the game.
Yeah, the Red Foxes have seen some success on the offensive end, was moving the ball quite well in that first quarter. They opted to go for that quarterback punt to end that last drive, but tapped into Valpo territory before doing so. They've been on that side of the field in the first quarter. Look to keep that going on the first drive of the second.
Menino now at their own 38-yard line. Under the gun, next to him is James. He's going to hand it off to James, and he's going to get a couple yards and pushed forward, and now he's going to be just around the 43-yard line.
James, such a physical runner, not afraid to take contact. There was a lot going on in the middle of the field there, and James runs right into it, able to break for another couple yards after some contact, fighting his way to get this drive started for Marist.
Now James is on the left side of the quarterback in Menino. Diawara on the left side, on the near side. Connors McCarthy goes out wide on the right. Menino moving to the right side, throws it over for a first down, and he's going to get more yardage as it's Will Downs who makes the catch, and now he's going to be brought down at the 32-yard line by the secondary of Valpo, and Downs remains down. So we'll take a quick break. We'll see what's going on with Downs after the break. Welcome back to Tenny. Mike Willis gave up a thumbs up for Downs, and on that last play, a big chunk of yardage for Marist.
Yeah, Downs able to walk off, still getting checked out by the athletic training staff, but Coach Mike Willis seems to say everything's okay. One of the great abilities of Menino is to extend the plays and roll out. Didn't find his first target in Connors McCarthy up the seam, so instead finds Downs over the middle, and Downs had some impressive cuts to get some extra yards today.
So Menino under the gun. Cardillo was next to him. Instead, he goes out to the left side. Then James comes back into the backfield, and he's on the left side. Now there's going to be a flag on the play. It looks like it's going to be full start on the wide receiver that was out wide and Rilling. And it is.
So a tough start coming out of the injury timeout. Marist going to back up a couple yards after a huge chunk play on the connection with Will Downs, making the first much greater yardage.
So now James is going to be on the right side of the quarterback in Menino. Rilling on the far side. He's the only wide receiver on the far side. Menino fakes the handoff, and he's going to throw it over to Rilling. And it's just over the hands of Rilling. So now it's going to be 2nd and 15.
Marist taking the deep shot on 1st and long. One-on-one coverage on the right side down the sideline. A good ball by Menino, just too far extended. Rilling couldn't corral it. He had a step on his man. Menino put it to only where Rilling really could have had a chance at it. Back of the end zone, unable to get it going, but I like the deep shot on the 1st and long to start.
And there was a penalty on the offense, which is going to push them even further back. So now they're going to be at the 47-yard line, 1st and a mile.
Yeah, so that play on the deep shot erased, and the Will Downs connection a couple plays ago almost erased. A holding penalty puts Marist at 1st and 25.
Menino under the gun. Gets it, and it's going to be a halfback screen to James. Makes a man miss, and now is brought down around the 41-yard line. That time on the tackle was Puba.
Great patience and great protection by Marist. Menino composed in the pocket. Knew he had the slip screen, had to wait for his running back to stiff a quick block and then get out to the left side. Able to dish it to him. James makes one nice move, able to pick up some extra yardage, but Marist still looking at some real deep territory to get this 1st down.
Franco went down for Valpo. He's going to go off. If he can't go, that's going to be a huge loss for Valpo because he's been one of their best guys in the secondary so far throughout this entire game with the pass breakups. Great man-to-man coverage, and now, in that spot, losing him is going to be tough. We'll stick with you guys so far in this one, and when you look at this matchup, 7-7, 11:34 to play in the second quarter. Marist has 6, has 2nd and 20 to go, and this one, you got to think where the 1st down marker is. It's just past the 20, around the 22-yard line. If you get a little bit closer, you're probably thinking 4-down territory just based on the kicking issues.
Yeah, this is really where it hurts the Red Foxes, not having the ability. I mean, you saw in the last couple games really to hit some extra points, able to put one on their first score today, but the field goal just that much harder. And now 2nd and 20, it's a real tough 1st down, and that's the approach to look at it, Derek. Is it just immediately you have 3 more downs to get this 1st down? Are you playing the 4th down off the rip? That'll help you navigate a bit differently on 2nd and 20, able to space out some of your plays, but at the same time, you really wish the kicking woes weren't a thing, able to just squeak out a couple more yards on this 2nd and 20. You have 2 plays to find some room for your kicker and then take a 10-7 lead. It's whole different territory now with Marist really down in the kicking column.
Yeah, and on the 1st and 25 play, I like the play call in terms of going to the halfback screen, get a couple yards, you end up getting 5 yards, now make it 2nd and 20. You're still long, but you got a couple yards. At this point in time, you're just going to try to get yards after yards because now, when you look at it, the 1st and 10 markers are at the 32 and then the 22-yard line. So even if you get to the 32-yard line, it would be 4th and 10. It's not really in kicking territory, but it's also a weird spot to punt. So it's going to be interesting to see how long of yardage would they go for 4th down. Cardillo was in the backfield on the left side. He goes out to the left side as a target. James comes back next to Menino. Rolls out to the right side at the 50-yard line, throws it over to James, and it's going to be incomplete. So no yardage. And now it's going to be 3rd and 20. You got to think, you got to get to the 25-yard line to at least think about going for it, at least feel comfortable going for it on 4th down.
Great coverage from the Beacons. Really no window of opportunity for Menino to try and find it. And as you said, Derek, the kicking problems are going to come into play here. I wouldn't hate if Marist just decides to take a deep shot and then opt to punt it on the next one. See if you could break through with one of those long plays.
We'll see what they do. Well, Menino under the gun yet again. It's next to James in the backfield. He gets blitzed. He picks it up, throws it over to Diawara, and just over the hands of Diawara. So it's going to be incomplete, 4th and 20, and this might be the easiest decision that Marist has to make here, and you punt the football.
Yeah, obviously the defense has been great. Just try and pin Valparaiso, give them bad field positioning so that your defense can do its thing and give the offense possession right back, which could opt for good field positioning on the Red Foxes' return off of a Valpo punt if they are able to get a 3-and-out.
In a close game, you know what they always say, it's about field position. Here's the big opportunity for Marist to pin them deep. Punts up in the air, and it looks like it's going to hit the end zone right away. So a punt that just goes right into the end zone immediately, and now it's going to be a touchback, and Valpo will start at the 25-yard line. At the 20-yard line, excuse me. Not exactly the situation you wanted, especially when you're trying to pin them deep.
Yeah, not an ideal punt. You would have liked it to see some area in play to try and force tougher field positioning Valparaiso. Instead, they get to bring it out to the 20-yard line. However, the Marist defense is energized, and they've been feeling good after the last couple of possessions. Valpo really has not gotten much going except that one early run on the first possession.
We haven't really heard a lot about Tyler in the run game. It's been Mansoray who's been the main rushing attack. McCorkle jumped off sides but was able to get right back. As they go right to Mansoray, right up the middle, and it's going to be stopped by Marist that time. It was Powell from the outside linebacker position.
Yeah, that's this team's identity. Mansoray, even in the passing game, has a couple of receptions. He's their source of offense. As you mentioned, haven't seen Tyler with a designed run or even really scramble out. I'd like to see Marist try and make him uncomfortable.
Now it's going to be 2nd and 5 after a 5-yard pickup by Mansoray. Both tight ends that were on the left side now move over to the right side. Normally when you see that, you're going to think a run to the right. Instead, they're going to run to the left. And it's going to be stopped immediately as there's a couple of Marist defensemen right on the tackle, and Cade Warner as one of those guys.
That's the way to do your job in the trenches. Marist able to stuff it before Mansoray can pick up any real yardage, and now it's a 3rd and short. However, you're forcing the ball into Tyler's hands. Make the quarterback beat you. It's not a guy who has impressed so far in the passing game.
3rd down and 3 at the 27-yard line, 2nd quarter, 9:50 to play. Tyler looks back, is going to give it over to his tight end. It looks like he'll be just short of the marker as the tight end was trying to stretch out that time, but wasn't successful. So it would be 4th and a long one, 4th and a short 2.
Yeah, the offense is coming off the field. It's just too dangerous of territory to be able to attempt it. You got a couple yards, see if you can try and stuff it in, but the Red Foxes have done a great job in preventing this Valparaiso run game. So the Beacons opting for the smart choice and simply going with the punt. A great tackle there from Colby Benham. Tight end had some room if he could have made a move, but Benham got right to him, stopped him before the first.
Johnson to punt away. Diawara back to receive, and there's going to be a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be full start on the offense.
Even friendlier for the Red Foxes if that's the case, and they're already backing up the football, so it very much looks that way.
Delay of game is the call. So it's going to push them back anyways. It's going to be 5 yards, and now it's going to be 4th and 6 as it's going to even push them even further back. So now Marist, you look at Mohamed Diawara, he's set back to receive at the 30-yard line. Depending on where it is kicked, that could give you good field position.
And that's a skilled player who can work if he has some space.
Johnson to punt. He's going to punt it away. Diawara, fair catch, and it's going to bounce at the 40, and it's going to continue to trickle. And they're going to try to get Marist to jump on it, as it looks like Valpo wants the football. It might have touched Diawara, and now the refs are going to come and see what's going on. Diawara involved in things as Valpo was pushing Diawara kind of to the football.
Yeah, it was an interesting play. It was a swarm of the Beacons just playing some bully ball and trying to force Diawara onto the ball. They pretty much tackled him onto it and then picked it up. Valparaiso thinking that's a gift for them, and they're going to get possession in Red Fox territory. The ref's still discussing it over. It doesn't seem...
I mean, it's a smart idea if you're Valpo. Just push him as close as possible to the football, and then if he touches it, you get the football. It's going to be an official timeout, so we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Well, we welcome you back, and it's going to be Marist football. So Marist is going to get the football 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line. 8:50 to play in the second quarter.
It was a quick discussion. Unfamiliar play on the punt coverage, and now there might be more discussion. Both teams headed towards the sideline. Refs are going to huddle once again, so what seemed like an agreed-upon call is now going to take some further review, perhaps. Haven't signaled anything towards the replay center, but all the refs congregating in the middle of the field, really trying to figure out what went down on that last play.
I mean, it was interesting because we talked about it. It looked like Valpo kind of just pushed Diawara right in the way to try to have him touch the football, and I couldn't tell even if he touched the football or not, but they say that Marist gets the football. So now 2 officials are going to the Valpo side, 3 officials are going to the Marist side to talk things over. Willis does not look too pleased, to say the least. So maybe it's going to be Valpo football, but
it turned into a dog pile off the punt. It was just a bouncing ball. It took a very friendly roll for the Beacons. An extra 10, 15 yards that were added on off of the bounce. Marist kind of clearing out of the way. Tough bounce. It's a tough break, but you're going to let that happen. And then the Beacons forcefully pushing Diawara towards the ball. About 4 of the defenders on it. And then it was a scrum for the football.
So it is going to be Marist football. After the confusion by the officials and the confusion just in general on what happened on that last play. So Tristan Shannon is going to be in the backfield. He's going to be left of Menino. Diawara is going to be on the left side at the wide receiver spot. You're going to see a tight end in motion, Connors McCarthy. They're going to hand it off to Shannon. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks a second, trying to push forward. He goes out of bounds, gets the first down, and he's out of bounds around the 50-yard line.
And this kid is extremely gifted. I talked about he doesn't get as many attempts as the other running backs on the depth chart, but he's that burst type of player. You feed him every now and then. He's able to give you those chunk plays. And Tristan Shannon, movement on the right side.
That's why he's a returner. If you have open space, he can do something with it. Menino under the gun. And they're going to give it right back to Shannon, and just read perfectly by the defense, by Spellman, to get a huge loss. A loss of about 5 yards.
Yeah, big-time answer from the Beacons. Shannon finding some success on the first possession. The Beacons read right through it. They're going to go back to him. That Marist does. And Valpo capitalizes.
2nd and 15 now. Shannon's still in the backfield for Marist. And they're going to fake the handoff and go to a wide receiver screen in Diawara, and he gets right back to the 50-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd and 10 after the tackle by Bedell.
Good job keeping that ball in position. It was swiped at on the tackle, and it almost looked like the ball was wobbling in his possession for a bit, able to get 2 hands on it, take the tackle, and now it sets up an important 3rd down.
3rd and 10 at the 50. Two wide receivers to the right, 2 wide receivers to the left. Shannon picks up a big block. Menino's got space. Does he get the first down? He does, and then he gets out of bounds after Franco pushes him out of bounds. So 1st down for Marist, and they keep the chains moving.
The Red Foxes fortifying that blocking unit. Valpo sent the house there. They sent the couple linebackers on the blitz. Marist able to hold up and create a hole for Menino to scramble, gets through it and picks up more than 10.
Now James in the backfield. Menino gets it. Throws it over to his target on the right side, makes a man miss, and then gets brought down. It looks like it was Connors McCarthy on that play. He gets the football, and now he's going to come off the field as Marist is trying to go tempo a little bit.
The offense just looks comfortable today. A couple times, a few games throughout this season, we've seen them face a lot of pressure, not able to hold up. Menino making some questionable decisions, looks composed in the pocket, has worked his scramble, and has found his guys.
James in the backfield on the right side. Fakes the handoff, throws it over to Mallory, but it's off target that time. As it was good defended that time by Puba, the linebacker.
Menino took a late shot. No flags come out, but he ended up on the ground after the play. Went towards the referee to see if he could pick up any call. Nothing on the field, comes right back to it.
Same play design as the last time. Cardillo now goes in motion, gets the ball, gets a couple yards, and he's going to be brought down at the 20-yard line by Spellman.
One of those flips, kind of a jet sweep, but in front of the quarterback. Menino takes the snap, flips it quick to Cardillo with some speed on the right side, able to find the first hole that was created. Met by the linebackers soon after, but picking up a couple to make this third down easier.
3rd and 6 at the 20. Depending on this play call, you might assume that they might go for it on 4th down. Based on the kicking woes Marist has had. Hand off to Shannon. He's got room. Does he get the first down? He's right around that marker. It looks like he's going to be short by maybe a half yard.
And you go for it here. The Red Foxes have looked comfortable. The run game has been working. Menino's been able to scramble. They've gotten some good plays on some screen passes. You have a lot of options to work here. Put the ball in your playmaker's hands. Get this first down on a 4th and short.
Shannon in for James. Cardillo's going to be in the backfield. Shannon's going to be out wide to the left. Cardillo to the left. Now Shannon is going to go right to the backfield next to Cardillo. Cardillo fakes the handoff over to James, and it looks like they got just enough for a first down. So a little bit of interesting play design, moving the quarterback out to the right side where normally you'd have the fullback in, move the running back from the left side, bring him back into the backfield. 2 running backs in the backfield. You go Wildcat.
We've seen a few of those creative plays from Coach Willis in the backfield, switching it up. The last time we called the game here, he had one of those plays where the entire offensive line went to the left side of the field, just Menino under center, and it's worked. On a lot of those trick plays, Marist keeping it rolling.
3 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Menino gets the ball, and he's going to run for a couple yards, and he's just going to be tackled that time by Fowler.
Faced some quick pressure and tried to get through before anyone could touch him. Really not too much space to go, but great coverage. Just 1 yard on the play. Menino gets trying to force his way through the middle.
2nd and 9 at the 11. Trying to punch in. Cardillo in the backfield. You got 2 wide receivers and Downs and DOR to the left, and then a tight end and Connors McCarthy. Nobody to the right side of the quarterback. They go to Cardillo. He gets a couple yards, and he's just past the 10-yard line, just around the 8 for a 3-yard pickup.
This is going to be a fight for the end zone. Both these teams have brought some juice in the last couple of plays. Valpo playing bend don't break right now as they're trying to hold their end zone. And on the other side, Marist has been trying to force a lot of action in the run game.
It looks like one of the offensive linemen for Marist is down. Looks like it's Brennan Fury who is down on the field. So we will take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Fury was able to walk off under his own power. Menino under the shotgun, over to James. Nope, he's going to keep it. looking, continuing to look, rolls out to his left side, finds a receiver in the end zone for a touchdown. It goes to Downs.
Continue to have a day. Will Downs had a bit of an injury, got checked out on the 10. He comes back in, makes an impact immediately. Sonny Menino had all the time in the world. Great blocking from his offensive line. The patience from Menino, letting it develop. One of his receivers free up in the end zone. He finds Downs.
Medini for the extra point. Right through the uprights. 14-7, 2:30 to play in this one. So looking good from the extra point side of things so far in this one.
I know, another nice positive for the Red Foxes. You haven't seen that in the last few games. They've had a lot of two-point attempts because of the mishaps that have come on the extra points. They go back to the kicker once again, knocks the first one through, comes in the second time, gets that as well to keep it at a full touchdown out in front. Marist now up 7. That is a much nicer position to be at than how it was in the last few games with the extra points being missed.
So now 2:30 remaining in the first half. Looks like Valpo will play the 2-minute offense. They do have all 3 timeouts, and they do have the 2-minute timeout.
Have a lot of time. You could set up an entire drive here. We'll see what type of field positioning they get off of the kickoff. The real interesting part is going to be Valpo depends on that run to fuel their offensive attack. We'll see what kind of passing game we get out of Caron Tyler, the QB.
Gabe Kaysen to kick off for Marist. And he kicks it pretty deep. It's going to be just around the 2-yard line that Valpo retains it. They got room. Now at the 30, now at the 40, just past midfield, and he goes out of bounds just around midfield. So Valpo has some pretty good darn field position for themselves.
Yeah, and how about that start? Free up an entire lane down the right sideline, take advantage of it. They're going to be spotted right at the 50-yard line. So now, maybe we won't see as much passing attack. Valpo has all the time in the world with the timeouts, the 2-minute timeout, to work their offense exactly how they have been this whole game.
Tyler, the quarterback. Mansoray, the running back, right next to Tyler. Fakes the handoff. They're going to pass. They're going to get a first down and possibly more. They are. They're going to be stopped just around the 35-yard line as Trimble is on the tackle.
Evan Jurgernen, the tight end, with the grab there. First grab of the day. This team doesn't utilize the tight ends all too much. That's just his 8th reception of the year. Had only 61 yards coming into this. But here they are starting out the drive for the Beacons.
That's going to be the 2-minute timeout. 14-7, 2 minutes to play in the first half. Marist leads. Welcome back. 1st and 10 at the 35 for Valpo. Trying to tie this game. They get a touchdown and an extra point, they will. Fakes the handoff, throw it deep. Oh! Just off the hands of the wide receiver as it was perfect coverage that time by Trimble.
Trying to go to the freshman, Gary Givens, one of the leading receivers on this Valparaiso squad. Just overthrown there, had some space.
Now make it 2nd and 10, 1:56 remaining. Tyler gets the snap, fakes the handoff, throws it over to the tight end, and that's going to be a first down.
Hit hard, but not before picking up the first. An interesting play type there. You had 3 receivers on the left side, all just with a quick hitch and curl. Finds his closest target, somewhat over the middle of the field, able to get a few yards after the catch to pick up the first.
Big play there for Vickers. 1:30 to play in the first half. Vickers in motion. Now on the right side. Another tight end in motion. And Jernigan. Tyler looking that way, goes to his wide receiver, and he gets tripped up by the linebacker in Casanova. But a nice play that time by his target.
Jack Colson on the catch. Another name that looks to step up and make an impact in this game. They don't have a dynamic passing attack, just 3 guys over 100 yards coming into this game, and one of them's a running back, Mansoray.
Going with the huddle. They got 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Tyler under the gun. Gets the ball, fakes the handoff. Now rolling to his right. He's got room, and he gets pushed out just at the 2-yard line by Casanova.
So you finally see the first sneak of the day. We've been waiting for Tyler to break off on a run. There he goes.
They say he got out of bounds. He touched out of bounds at the 8-yard line, not at the 2, as his right foot was out of bounds. So he didn't get as much yardage as you'd think. Well, the tight ends are coming in. Looks like it's going to be the Hog Mollies here at the 8-yard line.
Well, you have 3 timeouts to work with. There's no sense of urgency to pass. You're 8 yards to the goal, and you lean on your rushing game. You have the time and you have the timeouts to be able to get it done.
And they're going to call one right there to see what play call they want. So 35 seconds remaining in the first half. First and goal at the 8-yard line. We've seen the rushing attack time and time again of give the ball to Mansoray. Do you continue that mojo, or do you separate? Because we just saw Tyler got a decent run for a first down to get you, in that goal line situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you utilize that weapon, Tyler, to be able to take it and keep it himself, extending plays with his legs. But feed the ball to Mansoray. He's been your guy. He's been able to pick up a couple big chunk plays throughout this game. Looks like they're bringing in a full offensive line with a couple tight ends and no one out wide and 3 in the backfield. It's Mansoray's time.
So they just had Carter, one of the backup tight ends, move in motion. He went to the left side. They're going to hand it off. Nope, fakes the handoff. They're going to give it over to the target on the left side. He's going to be short of that one as it went over to Thomas. So now it's going to be 2nd and goal, and there's going to be a timeout that time. So 26 seconds remaining in the first half after Valpo calls their 2nd timeout, and they're just around the 5-yard line.
That's a way to play with that option. You have Tyler as a dual threat. You have a couple running backs in, able to feed one of the other ones on a screen play. Marist could have really blown that up and got a tackle for a loss there. Had the opportunity, but Thomas makes a nice move, dodges one tackle, able to pick up a couple of yards to make it much easier on the 2nd down for Valpo, as they still have 1 timeout, so wouldn't be shocked here if they try and force a run.
So second down and 4 to go to get into the end zone. So 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line. Are you thinking you got that 1 timeout? Like, what are you doing with that 1 timeout? Are you going to call it after this, or are you thinking, hold up, let's take a shot and then call a timeout so we can get our field goal unit on the field depending on where our spot is?
Yeah, it's a real interesting thing. Their offense is already out. Here they go.
And they're going to give it to the running back, and he's going to be right around that yard line. And the push certainly does something as they get into the end zone, and Mansoray, and that extra push by that offensive line now makes it 14-13.
Yeah, it's just smart play calling. They had the timeout in case that run didn't work, but feed your guys, give Mansoray a touch, try and have him sniff out the end zone. He's carried the bulk of this offense, especially in the rushing game. He now adds to his total at 4 touchdowns coming into the day, with 2 already, the one big one to start, and then forcing his way there with the help of his offensive line for his 6th on the year.
Hawk extra point, and that's good. We got a tie ball game at 14. 18 seconds to play in the first half. Now, if you're Marist, do you just take the knee and go to halftime, or do you say, hey, let's take some big shots?
You know, it really seems like the play to just be able to take the knee, send it to half. You have the ball coming out of half, so you definitely don't want to do anything sloppy. If you take a shot, you don't want that to turn into a turnover that all of a sudden, Valpo has some positioning to get some points. So, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they just take the knee, head into half. But you do have 2 timeouts if you want to give it 1 shot off of the first play. You have a couple of vertical threats on this team. Mentioned Dexter before. He's the guy they take the long shots to. Maybe you give it 1 attempt, make sure it's deep, and make sure you have some room to actually find Dexter instead of throwing into triple coverage per se. But if you're able to get that 1 shot, you call a timeout, you have another to work with, all of a sudden you could set up something on the offensive end. See how Marist comes out.
It probably all depends on his punt return. I mean, kickoff.
Yeah.
Because if you get good field position, you might want to take advantage depending on how much clock is going to be left. If you get a nice return, you might have only 10 seconds left. But if you can get it closer, then maybe call timeout. And if you trust your field goal unit, maybe you kick a field goal to see what can happen at the end of the first half.
Might as well give it the attempt, especially if there's going to be no time on the clock. As you said, see where this return goes. Maybe with the 2 timeouts, you can even try and get a quick strike, pick up 1 first down over the middle, call a timeout, give yourself some more room, and then you have the 1 extra timeout to play with.
Hawk kicking it off for Valpo. He kicks it deep, and it's going to go into the end zone. So they'll start at the 25-yard line, and as Tommy said, you probably would assume that they're going to take a knee, but you never know in college football. Anything, and I mean anything, is possible.
Let's see how bold we get. Even if Mike Willis opts to just go with a run or drop a screen pass to one of his playmakers in the run game, see if they could break off something, and then that'll set up an opportunity to call a timeout and take a shot. We know Sonny Menino likes to operate out of the shotgun.
It is shotgun. Cardillo to his left, James to his right, and then Connors McCarthy behind him. And that, my friend, is the knee formation. They will take it into halftime. Tie ball game at 14 after 1. Half of play. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. When we come back, we'll go through the first half stats. But right now, tie ball game. Both teams looking for their first PFL win of the season. We will be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Tenny for the first half stats. When you look at this game so far, both teams tied at 14. A little bit more first downs for Marist as they got 12. Valpo only with 8. When you look at the rushing attack, it's all been about Valpo. It's all been about their guy in Mansoray, who's had 88 yards on the day. Total rushing, though, they have 100. Then in terms of the passing yards, it goes to Marist. They got 124, while Valpo only has 74. And then when you look at the completion percentage, it's about the same. Marist passing the football just a little bit more than you'd see from Valpo. And, more plays from the offense for Marist than there are for Valpo, as they have 25 plays, Valpo 33, Marist. And when you look at the rest, it's been a pretty even match throughout. I mean, you look at rushing the football, it's been Valpo. When you look at passing the football, it's been Marist. Just 2 different attacks so far in this one.
Yeah, both teams pretty balanced, and it's been a back-and-forth game. We saw Valpo take the first lead on the first possession of the game. Marist answers right away, eventually going up 14-7 before Valpo closes in right before half and ties it up. What's going to be ever so important is this first drive by the Red Foxes coming out of the half. Obviously, they opted to knee the ball towards the end of the half, allowing them to just take it, first possession, out of the second, look to score, look to make a difference. Their defense has come to play, and I think that's going to be the real difference maker. Which defense makes it more of an impact, and what type of big plays you can find. The defense is going to win the game. So if the Red Foxes can get on the board off this first drive, it'll set them up pretty nicely, as the Red Fox defense has had a few stances on a couple possessions.
Well, when you look at that first half and you look at the first drive by both teams, both were able to get into the end zone. So first drive for both teams were successful in the first half. We'll see if that translates into the second half to see what's going on there. And, just over a minute to play, a minute left until we get ready for action in the second half. Both sides, when you talk about it, we thought going into this game, probably going to be a defensive battle. It still has been so far, but 14-14. Marist almost at that marker where we expected them to be, around that 17 range or whatever. But Valpo, that offense, man, averaged around 6 points going into today in PFL play, and they already got 14. So the running attack of Mansoray has been dynamic, and it's been all about the hog mollies up front. The most amount of space that they've had is up the middle in terms of runs, and you really got to credit those guards and those centers so far today.
Yeah, they've been working it on the run attack, and that's going to be the key for this Marist defense. Contain the run just to make it difficult on the quarterback, Tyler. You really want to see him beat you if you're the Marist defense. You can't allow Mansoray in that rushing attack to be the fuel for this offense. Make their quarterback uncomfortable. You haven't seen him have any big-time games in terms of yardage or passing touchdowns, so you really want Karan Tyler to be the guy who's going to make the impact on the game if Valpo's going to win it instead of being at Mansoray in the rushing game.
Longest pass play for Valpo, 15 yards. Longest rush of the day, 58 yards. It was that big one play by Mansoray. Then kind of the rest of the way, they weren't really able to get a lot of yardage. But when you look at it, Mansoray, he's averaging 9.7 yards per carry. That is exceptional for a running back. And when you look at it, if you continue to feed the rock to Mansoray, he's going to be successful. He's able to break in tackles. He's been able to find space, and that's what you want. When you look at the other side for Marist, longest pass play, 25 yards for Menino. Well, guess what? The longest run play was by Menino for 18 yards. So when you look at it, it's going to be a battle. Which team is going to win? Is it going to be the offense in terms of the pass play by Marist, or is it going to be the run play of Valpo? Or in the second half, we saw run versus pass in terms of the two offenses, what has been going well. Maybe it's going to be the opposite in the second half. Marist might rely on the rushing attack, and Valpo might use the pass play a little bit more.
Yeah, the surprising thing is we have seen the defense make a few stops, but both offenses look quite comfortable. You haven't seen too many sloppy plays and forcing passes in the wrong direction. There was one fourth down play where Tyler faced some quick pressure for Valpo, and he kind of just chucked it downfield. Marist almost had an interception. It was Nate Robinson who didn't end up snagging it for the pick, but nonetheless, it was a turnover on downs. Besides that, both offenses have been sticking to their DNA, and Valpo's mainly fueled by Mansoray. You mentioned how good they've been in the rushing game, and that the receiving game has not been a huge response for them. Mansoray also leads them in receptions. He has 3 on the day. There's only one other person with 2 even. Besides that, there's only been 4 pass catchers who have caught a ball today for this Valparaiso offense, and that's the real thing to highlight. Marist, they've done a better job after that first break-off touchdown that Mansoray had rushing-wise. Limit that rushing attack and force Tyler to have to find some receivers in order to make plays.
It's going to be interesting to see. Well, kickoff is just about ready to get underway, as it's going to be Hawk to kick off. Shannon back to receive for the Red Foxes. And guess what? The wind is being a factor here today. The ball goes off the tee, and we're going to try this one again. The beauty of the wind, I'll tell you what.
Tell us, Derek.
The wind is certainly a factor here today. Should be interesting to see how that's a factor later on in this game when they're trying to kick an extra point or try to kick a field goal.
That's another element of the Hudson Valley. Sometimes you get some whipping wind, and you see it here today. Marist, the kicking has looked okay today, but it's been an issue all season long, and our second attempt on the kickoff, it gets blown away once again.
They might need a holder to keep that ball upright, because this wind, I'll tell you what, is absolute whipping here today in the Hudson Valley.
Nice day turning into that fall football weather, but as you mentioned it, you can see it in a couple of the flags on the goalposts, the American flag towards the end of the field. You can see the direction of the wind. It's forcing it downfield towards Marist territory, and they will bring out a holder, so we'll see where this kick ends up going with the wind on their back.
And now with the holder, it makes it a little bit more difficult to tackle in the special teams aspect. Kick is pooched and caught by Reiling. He was at the 35-yard line. He's at the 40. He just gets past the 45, and he's going to be at the 47-yard line. Great field position for Marist. However, there is a flag on the play.
We'll see what that flag entails, but how about the heads-up play by Jack Reiling? The kick doesn't go very far. See what the ref has to say first, but looks like they're going to spot it relatively where Reiling ended up.
Offsides on the kicking team.
So a whole bunch of issues on that kickoff, but it ends up falling in Reiling's hands. The heads-up play to be able to backtrack, catch that ball, and then make some work with it. Brought it out towards the 50-yard line, and then the added offsides. Marist is already in Valpo territory.
Big, big, big type of possession here for Marist. You're in Valpo territory at the 46-yard line. Connors McCarthy was in the backfield. He moves out to the right side. Back next to Menino is the running back in Shannon. They give it to Shannon right up the middle, takes one look, gets a couple yards, just getting past the 35-yard line for a first down as he get an extra push by his offensive lineman that time, and Leonardo.
Feed Tristan Shannon. It's as simple as that. At halftime, he had 3 carries for 18 yards, and now here he goes again, a quick first down. Shannon's rolling.
Here's the next run. Fake the handoff instead. Go to the left side and downs. Makes a man miss. Tries to get those legs pushing, but he's just going to be 1 yard short of the first down marker.
I mention it every time, but the yards after catch and the cuts that Will Downs is able to put on his defenders, I don't think the first attempt at tackling Will Downs has been successful so far today. Every time he gets it, he's making a cut and he's breaking that first tackle.
You know what they always say, it's about those legs. He's really using those legs here today to break off those tackles. Shannon in the backfield to the left side of the quarterback and Menino. 3 targets to the right side. Fakes the handoff to Shannon. Menino looking to the right side, trying to throw it to Downs, but it's going to be out of the reach of Downs. However, there is a flag on the play.
It's in the backfield. We'll see if it's holding on the offense or if they got to Menino late.
Hafner was the one who was trying to get pressure. It's going to be intentional grounding on Valpo, so an automatic first down for Marist, and you couldn't even hear what the official was going to be saying because the wind was such a key factor in trying to hear what they were going to say.
So the penalty is on Valpo. They're actually going to say roughing. He hit Menino late, and now Marist going to get a huge boost off of that penalty. 15 yards. They're set up at the Valpo 11, and quite quickly.
First down and 10. In the red zone are the Red Foxes, just short of the 10-yard line. Cardillo in the backfield to the left side. Nope, it's going to be Shannon who goes into the backfield as they do a little switch here. Menino fakes the handoff to Shannon. It's going to be Diawara who's got it. Gets past the 10, gets a block, and he's going to be around the 3-yard line.
Couldn't make up the ground quick enough. It looked like if Diawara was able to turn that corner, he could have maybe found the end zone. The end around and flipped to Diawara. Had space on the right side, had some blockers. Valpo does a great job at getting the whole unit over to that side, making it difficult for Diawara to slip through.
Second down and short. Shannon in the backfield to the left side of Menino. Downs to the left side. Mohamed Diawara in motion. Fakes the handoff. Menino trying to evade pressure, and he's able to throw it away. Just in time to get away from it as the pressure from Puba was coming.
Just gets that ball off, and the Red Foxes have done a lot of play action, but don't know if on that down I'm necessarily a fan of it. It's 2nd and 2 on the 3-yard line, so if you just forcefully run the ball, even if you don't get to the end zone but you get close, you pick up a first down with only a yard to go. The Red Foxes had multiple opportunities to just run the ball.
3rd and 2 at the 3. Shannon next to Menino. And they're going to pass it to Mohamed Diawara, and he's just out of bounds and not able to make the play for an incompletion.
And it looks like the offense is going to stay on. The Red Foxes got down to enemy territory quickly, and they don't want to leave without 6 points.
The wind also could be an issue in terms of the kicking game. You might not want to kick here because of how the wind is whipping.
Very short field goal. It would be a 20-yarder if they decide to attempt it. And this is why I wanted more runs on second and third. Now you set up a fourth and short. Tough spot when you could have inched closer with a couple of runs.
Downs in motion. They're going to hand it off to James, and right away he's tackled by the Valpo defense. Right in the backfield.
Got right through the line, and that's the issue there. You don't pick up any sort of yardage on second and third. You pass both times. It's 2 incompletions, and then you decide to run it on fourth. Valpo sniffs it out quick, and Marist, with so much momentum coming off of a friendly kickoff, you get a roughing the passer call that inches you closer and closer. You leave with nothing but really tough field positioning for the Valpo offense now.
You talk about the field positioning. It's going to be difficult for Valpo, so you are kind of playing the field position game here. Now down in their own end zone around the 4-yard line, as that play was a loss of 1 yard. And now 1st and 10 at the 4 for Valpo. If you're Marist, you might want to bring the blitz. You might want to bring the heat because you could possibly get a safety, especially with the way teams are playing shotgun, shotgun, shotgun.
For sure. The only worry about it is we've seen the explosiveness of Mansoray in the rush. If they send the house and he's able to slip through a hole and there's not too many people in the secondary, that could be dangerous. Mansoray in the open field. However, Red Foxes have to put up a stop here. The defense has to come to play. They're in incredible field positioning in terms of the defensive end for the Red Foxes. Have to make a big stop, and especially on first down, set the tone quickly.
I think the biggest key is if you are bringing the house, you got to make sure your front seven, those inside linebackers, are able to get a tackle, because we've seen when the big yardage has come from Mansoray, it's been that opening right up front, that center right guard, left guard issue, just pushing people forward, and you're going to have to look at the inside linebackers and Casanova and Crutchable.
Yeah, that's definitely a big point you bring up there. When Mansoray's had these extended runs, he really hasn't been touched in the backfield or near the offensive line. Marist hasn't been able to stunt him at all for their linebackers to make a play. It's just been the open gaps that Mansoray has found and plowed through. It's allowed him to get into open space and then work from there. Have to put up right here with Valpo pinned against their own end zone.
Well, we've seen the pressure that McCorkle, Jackson, and Cowderer have had so far today. We'll see if they can bring it again in this one to try to get a safety and try to get the lead. They're going to be under the gun. Tyler is going to be in the end zone. And it looks like there could have been a flag on the play. Looks like it might have been offsides. They take the deep shot, and it's going to be incomplete.
That's a tough start. You saw the clear jump, right towards the neutral zone. Didn't blow it dead right away, but definitely offsides once it was snapped.
So it is going to be on the defense. So now it's going to be 1st and 5, pushing them back, pushing them forward just a little bit, just short of the 10-yard line, as now they're going to be at the 9. So it gives them a little bit more of room to operate. 2 tight ends on the left side now go over to the right side. One now moving back to the left side, so one to the left, one to the right. Tyler gets a snap, hands it off to the running back, and he's going to get a couple yards. We'll see if he's going to get the first down, and it looks like he's good enough for a first down in Mansoray.
There he is on the first play. Don't know if it was because of the offsides jump, but Valpo goes to take a shot. This time, just a 1st and 5. That's easy enough to give it to your guy, Mansoray.
So now they're out of their hole right now, as they're just around the 17-yard line.
Much more comfortable. You don't have your quarterback taking a shotgun snap in the end zone.
Mansoray to the left side of Tyler. Tight end that was out wide, now in motion. Right by the line of scrimmage. Now Tyler looking to the right side. Finds his target, but a truckload of Marist defenders are all right there to make the stop, and Cade Warner was over there.
Great job at Marist getting to the ball immediately on the reception. Valpo just opting to go short, trying to get some gain out of it. They've had a couple deeper plays over the middle of the field, but we haven't really seen Valpo hit on anything downfield, just trying to get these chunk plays off short yardage.
So 2 targets to both sides. It looks like the tight end jumped just a little bit early, and that's what they call as the tight end and Carter jumped just a little bit early to push him back 5 yards.
And Marist defensive back Brooks Bolden all over that. Saw the jump, was signaling right away. Flag comes very quickly after. Now a very friendly penalty for the Red Foxes. That'll back Valpo up 5 yards, about a 2nd and 11.
What's interesting is what we've seen from Valpo. They've actually gone to the huddle formation a bunch of times. They've actually huddled. Marist has not huddled whatsoever so far today. Mansoray in the backfield to the left side. Tyler getting the signals. Hands it off to Mansoray to the right side. And gets a couple yards, gets an extra boost, and he's going to be just around the first down marker. Looks like he's going to be short by about 2 yards.
It's just another impressive run by Mansoray. From our angle on the opposite side of the field, you looked, it seemed like Marist had that quite well covered on the rushing attack. They go outside to the right. The Red Foxes move over there, kind of break through. Not too much blocking up ahead, but Mansoray able to get to the end before anyone else and get some positive yardage out of it, making this 3rd down much more attainable.
They pushed him back a little bit further than the original spot. It's going to be 3rd and 4. Thomas in motion. They're going to give it to Thomas. He's got room, and he's going to get the first down as he's pushed out again by Warner.
Same type of play, different running back this time, but you go outside to the right side, and that right side has worked for Valparaiso. They've went to the left a couple of times. They've been stuffed on most of them. That was a lot of action in the first quarter. Since then, have not seen them depend on that left side run. They've been attacking the right, and it's been working.
They've given Thomas a little bit more times where he's been out of the backfield getting the ball in terms of running the football instead of being your normal wide receiver, as they've showed a lot of motion so far today. Tyler gives it over to a running back again. He's got room, and he's going to be stopped as a bunch of Marist defenders come right to him, and Paterno is the one who makes the tackle there.
Yeah, able to halt Mansoray earlier than he would have liked. Got to stop him, crowd around him, and then a team tackle collectively, just putting an end to that play, keeping it at 2nd and manageable for the defense.
2nd down and 7. Tyler again in the shotgun formation. Mansoray fake the handoff. They're going to throw it over the middle to the tight end, and it's going to be incomplete, just out of the reach of Carter.
That play was successful in their late half drive that tied the game up. Tried to go back to it once again. One of those deeper slants over the middle of the field. That time a bit overthrown, and we've seen that a couple times today from Tyler, overthrowing his receivers. That's what we talked about at halftime, this Marist defense. Stop the run and force Tyler to beat you.
Big 3rd down, 3rd and 7, 8:25 to play in the 3rd quarter. Tight end in motion. Tyler gets the ball, looking to the left, trying to throw it over. It's just incomplete and out of the reach of his target in Gundy. Gonna bring up 4th down.
And there you go. It's just an uncatchable ball. It tries to go towards the sideline, throwing it to where no one really would be able to snag that out of bounds. Continue to force the pressure on the quarterback. Make him pass.
Now to punt is Valpo. They punt it off. Diawara keeps going back. It's going to bounce at the 10-yard line, and he's going to try to get out of the way as quick as possible, which he does so. It's probably going to be around the 5-yard line where Marist will start their play. So Marist will start their drive just around the 5. We'll take a quick break. 8:07 remaining in quarter number 3. Welcome back to action here at Tenney Stadium. It's been a matchup, to say the least. 14-14 apiece. We got 8 minutes and 7 seconds to play in the third quarter. Marist with the football at their own territory. They're going to start at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, impressive punt. Pins Marist back towards their end zone.
Menino fakes the handoff to James. Rolls out to the right. Instead, he's going to take it himself. He gets a couple yards, and he gets hit right there from the linebacker position in Ladendo.
It was an interesting type of rollout. Didn't have too many receivers working with him. It was a big man in front of him that was his first option to dump down to. Instead opts to take it, doesn't get too much out of it, but Menino once again using the legs to keep it going.
Now 7:30 to play in the third. 2nd and 6 at the 11. They're going to give it to James, and he maybe gets a yard as it gets tackled that time by Spellman.
Marist not finding success back in their own territory. Need a big breakthrough, or else this is not a lot of time off the field that the Marist defense has before we're going to come right back. It's a big 3rd and short.
Now it's going to be 3rd and 3 at the 14. Menino gets the ball, has some time in the pocket, now rolls out to his left and throws a dot right over the middle to his favorite target in Connors McCarthy. But the officials are going to call it a first down. Just a little bit of confusion as now they're going to move the chains.
Beautiful throw, and how about the arm slot from Sonny Menino? Rolled out left, came back to throw it over the middle of the field, opposite way. His arm angle was down low, a bit of a sidearm whip to his tight end. Found him in the middle. Impressive play by Menino.
Well, the sidearm worked that time. I'll tell you what, first down, 1st and 10 at the 21. Clock ticking. 6:30 remaining in quarter number 3. No wide receivers or targets to the left side. Well, Connors McCarthy's going to go that way. Menino goes to the right. Breaks 1 tackle. And then 3 tacklers go right to Menino and get the stop, as it looks like he got nowhere.
He's looked sharp rolling out, however. He could have maybe dumped it to his running back in James. Don't know how much yardage it would have got. I think Menino was trying to look for a little something extra. Able to spin off 1 tackle. Couldn't get too much out of it, but Menino making some smart decisions, not really forcing it into coverage.
2nd down and 11 at the 20. And off to James. He's got some room. Tries to break a tackle, but he's able to get brought down just around the 27-yard line. And now there's going to be a flag. Looks like there was extracurriculars.
Yeah, real late. This is going to be a big penalty on whichever side is assessed to.
Looks like Brandon Fury was involved in something on the Marist side of things.
On that run, James had some opening towards the middle. Great play by one of the defensive linemen, kind of huddled up, couldn't really tell, but able to grab low on Carter James's leg, preventing him from churning out any extra yards or even breaking free.
It's actually going to be on the defense, the unsportsmanlike conduct. That's going to be on the defensive tackle and Sean Fester, and after that one, he's going to come to the sideline. So a big boost for Marist to now push the ball a little bit closer to midfield.
Yeah, Fester along with Puba were the two on the tackle to make the play, and it looks like Fester just gave a little too much at the end of it as James was already on the ground. So Marist gets a big boost. This is how they developed into enemy territory last time off of a 15-yard penalty. See if they can capitalize this time.
So Diawara is going to be on the right side, the only wide receiver to the right. Menino breaks one guy, then tries to throw it over to Diawara, but perfect coverage that time by Franco, not giving Diawara any separation whatsoever.
Yeah, didn't really have any targets downfield. Have loved Menino's pocket presence today, though. He's known when to roll out, when to extend some plays and scramble. He's done a great job at that. And he had a defender coming towards the far side, able to just step up in the pocket, get the throw off, just not to the right coverage.
Now 2nd and 10, low snap. Corrals over to Cardillo on the left and breaks one tackle but doesn't break the second, as it's going to be a loss of 2. Now brings up 3rd and 12 at the 41.
Read well by the defense. Sets up some trouble here on a 3rd and long. Marist did the same thing when they lost a yard on 1st down, just the play before with Carter James. Handed it off to him. He was able to get some yards out of it. They opt to go short again on a 2nd and 10. Another loss.
Trips to the right. Diawara in motion. Moves in. Menino gets it. Leans back. Blitz comes, and they get to him. With the sack that time is Valpo, and getting home was Bedell.
They brought the blitz, and it worked. Menino got some quick pressure. Needed some more time for that play to develop. Looked like he was going to take a shot to Diawara, but couldn't quite turn up field yet. Great play by the Beacons. Going to be awarded the ball back on the offensive end. No strike yet so far in the 2nd half.
Yuska punting it. Just gets it off. It's going to bounce just at the 35-yard line and then corralled. And he gets some room on the right side and then gets pushed out just around the 43. And now there's going to be an extracurricular, and it looks like it's going to be a flag on Valpo, as it was just an unforced error that time.
Just dragging attention to himself. One of the special teams players for Valparaiso there, kind of getting into it a bit with a Red Fox. And he went over to the ref, I think, trying to get a holding penalty on the Red Foxes, but instead, I guess, argued a bit too aggressively, and now it's going to be a flag on him.
So now 2 unsportsmanlike conducts, both on Valpo, within a minute of each other.
Yeah, it's going to be Mathis, one of the depth chart wide receivers that was on the special teams there, tied up with a Red Fox. Tried to pitch his case, but instead going to draw the unsportsmanlike. That's just a tough break for the Beacons. You had a nice return off the punt, a scoop and head towards the right side of the sideline to gain some yardage, set yourself up pretty well, but instead you're going to move back 15.
Yep, so 14-14, 3:35 to play in the 3rd quarter. It's going to be a big possession now to see what they can do in this spot. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Tenny. It's going to be Valpo football, 1st and 10 at the 28. Mansoray again in the backfield. Tight end in motion by Vickers. Tyler gets it, hands it off. No, he doesn't. He keeps it himself, now moving to the left, and he's going to get brought down just short of the 35-yard line. That time by Marist and Richie Smith.
So coming into the game, we thought Tyler may have a bit of more rushing attack as the quarterback. 66 attempts in the 6 games he's played so far. Runs 11 times per game. Hasn't done it too much today, but you see him there on the left hand keeping. He can make some work with his legs.
So Tyler again. This time hands it off to Mansoray to the left side and steps out of bounds, but is able to get the first down as he's pushed out by Trimble.
Another run to the left, and it's been successful. I mentioned that it was the right side that's been getting all the work so far for Valpo, finally developing that left side, working both sides of the field.
Now 3 targets to the right side, 1 to the left. Running back in the backfield to the right side of Tyler, and fakes the handoff, and he's wide open in the target for Valpo. And he's going to get brought down just short of the 10-yard line as a big play for Valpo. They give it to Colson, who we haven't called his name very often, but he makes a big play as he's wide open for the first down.
And Marist just completely fooled on that play-action attempts by Valpo. No one near Colson. It was him and just a safety to beat, eventually getting tackled, but boy, what a play.
Tyler changing the play and giving it off to Mansoray. Finds a hole, but he's going to get brought down that time by the linebacker in Crotcheville.
See what type of stand the defense has in them after that big play. They've been playing great ball besides a couple explosive plays, mainly that one on the first drive by Mansoray and then right there from Colson.
2nd and 6 at the 8. Tyler motioning movement by the tight end. He does. Now the other tight end goes to the right side from the left. Tyler looking end zone instead. He's going to take it himself. It's going to be a flag on the play, but Tyler hops in.
No signal yet.
Just short, it looks like, of the end zone, but it looks like the refs will decide what it is, but there will be a flag on the play nonetheless.
Yeah, 2 flags in the backfield. This could be coming all the way back.
Well, it's not going to matter if it was a touchdown or not because it's going to be holding on the offense. That's going to push them 5 yards back. Now make it 2nd and 11.
So a little bit of help from the hold on the offensive end off that last play. Nick Jackson with one left hand was almost able to pull down the quarterback. Tyler gets through, showing that rushing ability. But they're going to move way back off the hold in the backfield.
2nd and 16 after the 15-yard, after the 10-yard penalty. Trying to get pressure. Oh, it's batted down by the linebacker position for Marist as he's able to at least get a tip on that one. Was Powell from the safety position who looked like he was playing linebacker there.
Yeah, Tyrell Powell climbing the ladder and able to get a hand on it. Thankfully, there was one guy a bit freed up behind him. Tyler tried to find it back there, but Powell extended. Gets the hand on the ball, batting it down.
3rd down and long, 3rd and 16 at the 18-yard line. 2 tight ends from the left side move over to the right. Now one of them moves back. Tyler trying to go to the screen play. They do so. He's got a couple yards, breaks through 1 tackle, but then the extra hit by Werner gets him down just short of the marker. Brings up about 4th and about 3.
Almost completely broke that first tackle. Great job by the defensive back to hold on and pull him down, keeping him short of the first. And now the field goal unit on, the first field goal attempt we've seen today.
Field goal to attempt by Hawk. Wind moving right to left. Hawks field goal is good. Valpo gets the lead 17-14, 2 seconds remaining in quarter number 3.
And after the big play by Coulson, great job by the Marist defense to be able to make the stand and limit them to 3 points. A little bit of help off that holding penalty on the offense, but they make do of it, keep them at 3. And now set Marist offense up in position to still be able to bring this game away.
So for the third quarter, it's probably just going to be the kickoff, unless if it's a touchback, and then they'll have one play.
A lot of action in this third quarter, but not a lot of scores. We came out of the half 14-14. Marist threatened right away, getting to the 3-yard line of Valpo. They were able to hold on for 4 downs. Now Marist facing the deficit as they are about to enter the fourth quarter. See what type of scoring action they could have here in the second half.
Shannon back to receive for Marist. Hawk to kick off. Wind continuing to whip. This time he kicks it deep. And it's into the end zone. Shannon's going to take it out. He gets a couple extra boosts, and he gets to the 25-yard line. So after 3, 17-14, Valpo will head to the fourth quarter. Both teams with 3 timeouts. Marist football, 1st and 10 at the 25. A couple extracurriculars, but nothing to be said. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Well, we welcome you back to Poughkeepsie, New York. So far today, at least for the offense for Valpo, it's been all about Mansoure. 14 carries, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns that Valpo has on the day. On the other side for Marist, it's been more of a balanced attack in terms of the touchdowns. 1 touchdown for Shannon. The other touchdown went to Menino passing. He's 15 for 24, 139 yards. He's been sacked once so far. And when you look at the rushing attack, it's been James and Shannon. But Shannon has had more success than James, with him 4 carries for 32 yards. James 8 carries for 29 yards. And now Marist with the football. You got to score. This is probably the biggest possession they've had so far today. Down by 3, starting the fourth quarter.
Yeah, quiet third quarter. You didn't live up to your chance that they gifted you on the opening drive of the half. And I like to see Marist mix up some packages here. Tristan Shannon has done well with the few attempts he's gotten. Will Downs has been the main receiver of the night. But Jackson Connors-McCarthy and Mohamed Diawara are the 2 leaders receiving-wise for this team. Mix in some of those playmakers and make it difficult for this Valpo defense.
So Menino under the gun. Gets the football, looks to his left. Now rolls out to his left. There's going to be a flag on the play. It looks like it's going to be holding in the backfield.
Yeah, that one looks like it's going to come back.
So they are going to get the hold on Marist, which is going to push them back.
And a brutal start for the Red Foxes. You take a 10-yard penalty on the first play. You back yourself up further. Your back is getting close to the end zone. And then a possession where you could use a much-needed score. You now have to travel 85 yards to get the touchdown.
1st and 20 at the 15. James in the backfield. Picks up a blitz. Menino rolls out. Continues to roll, and he's able to get past the line of scrimmage just around the 25-yard line.
Impressive job by Menino, surveying the whole time, eyes downfield, trying to see if he had a receiver open, and able to just navigate through the defense. I thought that could have been a no gain or even a tackle for a loss with some of the guys pressuring him, swooping right around and picking up some good yardage.
Picks up 10 on the carry was Menino. James to the left side. Now throws it over to Connors-McCarthy, and he's going to be just getting a couple yards, but not much more, as it's now going to be about 3rd and about 7.
Can't escape the grasp of the defender. McCarthy finally getting involved after quite some time. Not the ideal look there, and now Marist going to have to bring out their best for a third down.
Looks like Jackson Willette was down there, so not necessarily what you want to see. One of the tight ends down for Marist, and now in a spot. It's going to be 3rd and 8. It's going to be a big third down for Marist to try to get the first down and try to keep this drive alive. When you look at it, 3rd and 8, you're probably throwing it to the sticks no matter what.
Yeah, so far every possession, Menino in the shotgun has taken it, dropped back, surveyed, trying to extend some plays with his feet. He's done that so well today. Put the ball in Menino's hands. He looks comfortable. He looks composed. He's making the right reads, not forcing it into any pressure, and has done a great job scrambling out and picking up some good yardage when he decides to run upfield. A 3rd and 8. That's something Menino is clearly capable of doing with his own legs. Picked up 10 yards on the first down to make this manageable and try and save this drive. You look there once again, Will Downs has been his guy to go to, and he has not been afraid to distribute the ball that way. See if they can free him up, and if the connection between Menino and Downs can try and propel this offense to stay on the field and make some work.
The biggest thing with Menino is, yes, he looks to run, but he's keeping his eyes upfield to see if a wide receiver is able to get some separation. So he's just creating to give more time for the wide receivers to get open. It's not like he's looking to run every single play when he's trying to roll out.
2 specific plays of that go all the way back to the Will Downs touchdown. Menino had a lot of protection on that, but was able to just survey, keep the play alive, and then eventually Downs frees up in the end zone. That's where he found him. And then the last possession where they were backed up on their own end zone, the play we talked about where Menino with the arm angle, the sidearm whip to Connors McCarthy, rolled out, kept the play alive, found a guy over the middle, get the ball into Menino's hands, let him survey and make a play.
Carter James in the backfield, next to Menino on the left side. One wide receiver all the way to the far side. That looks like it's Will Downs. You got Diawara on the near side along with Connors McCarthy.
And that's the triple threat that Marist throws out there. Their top 3 wide receivers with James in the backfield. These are the guys.
Petzovic was in motion that last time. Menino rolls out to the right, tries to go to Downs, in a good coverage that time. Good man-to-man coverage by Valpo. And that's incomplete, brings up 4th down.
The defensive back right on him, not giving space for Menino to try and thread the needle. Rolled out to the right, try and found his man downfield. Gets the ball towards the spot, but coverage too close.
Now to punt. They get it off. Bounces at the 45. Continues to bounce. And it's going to be bouncing just at the 41 and covered up. So good field position for Valpo as they'll start 1st and 10 at their own 41. Only 9 yards to go to get to midfield.
Defense has to make a stand here. Got to get the ball back into your offense's hands. It's pretty good field positioning, and the defense has done a good job at containing this Valpo offense so far. It's been those 2 big plays that have really set up the points for Valparaiso so far today. Can't let those explosive plays happen. Contain the run and make Tyler beat you.
13-13 remaining in this game. You just got to make sure Valpo stays out of the end zone. Tyler hands it off. Goes right into the offensive lineman, and he gets 2 yards, and Mansoray.
Yeah, Mansoray with the vision. Couldn't quite find the hole there. Had a one blocker way out on the left trying to create some space for him. Ended up running into him, stopping the run, and that's a big start for this Red Fox defense.
So now 2 wide receivers to the near side. Tight ends in motion. They move from the left to the right. So all the targets are on the right side. Not so fast. One of the tight ends moves to the left, and they're going to go to the left. And Mansoray, he gets a yard and gets stopped that time by the Marist defense there, as Austin Tremble was right there on the outside to make the tackle.
Swallowed up. Good job by the defensive line, forcing him towards the outside. The entire defense moving as a unit in that way. Gets to Mansoray in time, keeping it at almost a no gain right there, as we're still going to see a 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8. This is the biggest defensive stand Marist is going to need so far today. Mansoray in the backfield. Fakes the handoff. Counter getting pressure. And gets home. He gets Tyler down for the sack. And now it's going to be 4th and 10 for Valpo, and Marist is going to get the football right back.
Stalking the quarterback. Carterer, he was sniffing that out from the beginning. Turned the edge. It was a matter of time. Put on the Jets. Got there quick enough. Dives out and just catches the feet of Tyler. What a play the defense needed to show up. The big play by Carterer, handing the ball back to the offense.
Big play indeed. That punt hits at the 28-yard line and then continues to roll. That's going to be at the 10-yard line. Marist is going to start their drive at their own 10-yard line. They're going to try to get 90 yards to get into the end zone to take the lead. 10:58 remaining in this game. Offense going to be hopping on the field now. If you're Marist, you're at the 10-yard line. You've seen Shannon, you've seen James, you've got a couple yards running the football. You probably want to push it at least to the 15-20 and then open the playbook to pass, because you want to be a little bit careful with it being so far down in your territory.
Yeah, it's not unfamiliar territory. Marist has been in this position a couple times today, has not found success to be able to go all the way down the field and put up points on the board. But I like that idea on starting with a run, try and break something open for this offense. As the ball is actually going to be spotted at the 5-yard line. We didn't see a flag or anything, and it looked like it settled at the 10. So even tougher position here for the Red Foxes.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the 5-yard line, and now you're definitely going to run the football here. Shannon in the backfield to the left side, to the right side of the quarterback. Instead, they're going to pass it, but just off the fingertips of down for an incompletion. 2nd and 10 at the 5.
It's been that connection, Menino and Downs all day, trying to go once again one-on-one coverage. It looks like Valpo sent a couple extra blitzers trying to get home as Marist pinned against their own end zone. Had a nice slant route. Downs a bit freed up, just couldn't connect, a little bit outstretched.
Thought maybe they're going to go with the run. Instead, they're going to go to the pass. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. And they're going to have to reset it, which they do. Cardillo goes out wide. In motion. Menino rolling to the left. He throws it, but that one's out of bounds. So that's going to be an incompletion. That one intended for Willett. So now 3rd and 10 at your own 5, and back-to-back pass plays for Marist. This could be a 3-and-out, and you have to punt basically in your own end zone.
That's where the question comes in. Marist has struggled with the punting unit as well throughout this season. So is it just a matter of gaining a couple extra yards to be able to have some room to punt and play defense again?
3rd and 10. Menino gets a snap. There's going to be a flag on the play, and it's going to be full start on the offense. So that's even going to push him even further back, but half a distance to the goal. So now it's going to be about the 2.5-yard line, 3rd and 12.5.
So now it's one of those situations I wouldn't be surprised if we see a run or even some sort of screenplay to just try and get a couple extra yards. This is a bad scenario if you have to punt.
I don't think you can do a screenplay because that screen might be in the end zone. Here it is. Got to get it out somehow, some way. Shannon to the right side of Menino. They're going to pass. Menino gets pressured, throws it out of bounds. And so they're going to have to punt out of their own end zone, where the punter has to check his back foot. That is going to be the biggest key for the punter and Yuska.
And only 13 yards of room. The ball at the 3-yard line. All the way back towards the end zone, checking the feet. And we've seen Valparaiso break through this line and get close to blocking some punts today. Got to get this out clean.
They're going all out. He punts it. It's right or at the 46. He's got room. Breaks one tackle. Breaks a second. Then gets tackled right there by Marist and Rusher, who's able to make the play. And they'll be spotted at the 20-yard line.
Bend don't break defense right here. You've seen a couple of the explosive plays, but Marist has been able to put it together when it's mattered the most on the defensive end. You're playing to save a couple extra points. You know they're in field goal range. Got to hold them to 3.
1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. 10:30 remaining in this one. Valpo leads Marist 17-14. Both teams looking for their first conference win of the season. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to action. It's going to be Valpo football. 21-yard line, 1st and 10. Marist going to need stops here.
Crucial stops. A lot of time on the clock if Valpo were to score, but you don't want a 2-possession game this late.
Tyler under the gun. 3 tight ends to the right side. He's going to give it over to his running back, who's had success. Goes to the left side. Then the Marist defense comes up strong. 4 guys bunching Mansoray to get him down. 2nd and about 7.
Not too bad of yardage on the first down there. The Red Foxes have contained Mansoray thus far in the second. Not letting him break off any big runs, and we said it at halftime. Continue to contain the run until Tyler has to beat you.
Here it is. And they're going to throw it. Oh, off the hands of the receiver and incomplete. Almost a touchdown for Valpo, but that one off the fingertips of the wideout brings up 3rd down.
Some decent coverage, but really had an angle and had some room to be able to bring that ball in off the hands. Marist may have gotten away with one, but now brings up 3rd, and all of a sudden, this could work out very in favor of the Red Foxes.
3rd and 7 at the 18-yard line. Marist needing a big stop right here. Tight end in motion. Tyler takes it himself on the left side. Does he have enough room to get a first down? He's right around that marker.
Tackled out of bounds into the chains. We're going to have to see the spot.
And they say it's going to be 4th and maybe a fingertip.
So now decision time, but Valpo knows what they're doing. Goes right to the line.
Tyler trying to push him forward. Looks like he didn't get much, if anything at all.
One of those brotherly shoves. Waiting for the pile to clear.
It's close. He was about maybe a fingertip, and he's just short. Marist football, 9 minutes, 9 seconds to play, down by a field goal, 1st and 10, just around the 10-yard line.
How about this out of the Red Fox defense? You've called on them to have to make plays off the big catch from Carlson a couple possessions ago. Have to make a stance. Don't let Valpo get into the end zone. They do it. Last possession, they had good field positioning. Carter gets the sack, ends the possession. Right here, 4th and inches, need a stop. Get the stop. This Marist Red Fox defense is rolling, and now the offense has to feed off the energy.
James is going to be in the backfield for Marist. 2 wide receivers to both sides. Menino gets the snap, hands it off to James. He's got some room on the left side. Gets about 2 yards.
After that first contact, met pretty quick by half the defensive positions for Valparaiso. Doesn't pick up too much.
2nd and 8. Here it is. James now on the left side, moves over to the right side of Menino. He gets a snap, rolls out to the right, throws it over to his favorite target, and Connors McCarthy, it looks like Willette, who's actually the one who gets it, and he gets a first down and more as he gets out of bounds that time.
Finally a breakthrough for this Marist offense. They've been quiet in moving the chains, even picking up a first down off the last few possessions. This is huge for them to get an early first down, get the juices flowing again.
Continuing to go no huddle. McCarthy on the near side now. And he's just going to spike it in the dirt as they tried to do a halfback screen to James, but corralled perfectly by the Valpo defense.
Yeah, completely read there. Half the defensive line over towards the halfback off the screen. Gonna need Menino to facilitate to some of his wide receivers, getting people involved. That last catch off the first down was actually Reed Dexter getting back into the swing of things, had an early catch. Now you see Dexter popping up again. Downs and Connors McCarthy have been targeted. Start spraying the ball around Menino.
All of his targets on the left. Instead, they take a run to James on the right, gets a few yards, and then he's tackled by Birmingham.
So some tough yardage on 2nd and 10. Really needed some fuel to make this an easier third down. Instead, only pick up 3 on the last one. It's a tough spot. Marist back in their own territory.
James is down.
He's the one who just got the carry, was tackled, and now just on one knee. Not too sure what the injury could be, but a bit shaken up.
7:37 remaining in this one. 17-14 Valpo. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back on WMAR. We welcome you back to Red Fox Radio Network. Alongside Tommy Armstrong, I'm Derek DeGallo, and I'll tell you what, it's been a battle all night long, all day long. 17-14 Valpo leads. 7:37 remaining in this game. 3rd and 6 for Marist. Menino under the gun. He gets it. They're going to hand it off, and he's going to maybe get a yard. But an offensive lineman goes down for Marist, and it looks like it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on Valpo that's going to give Marist another break.
A late shove after the play was over. A questionable call on 3rd and 6. You go with the run up the middle. Valparaiso, it's an easy defend there.
And it is going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. So now that is the 3rd unsportsmanlike conduct on Valpo in just this quarter alone. It feels like these 3 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties have happened within like 3 minutes of each other.
And it almost seems at this point, Valparaiso is putting it on a silver platter saying, hey, Marist, here's your chance to score. They've been gifting it over and over, and here it is again. This Marist offense has not scored since 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the second quarter. Haven't had a point in the second half. Here they go again, picking up another 15 off a drive that was completely stalled. Have to make up for it.
Downs on the near side, wide open it looks like. Closest defensive back is 5 yards away. Menino gets blitzed, throws it around to Connors McCarthy, who makes the catch in traffic and then gets another 2 or 3 yards. So now it's going to be 2nd and 7 for Marist. 6:50 to play in the rest of this game.
One of the most impressive 2-3 yard catches you'll ever see. It was a scramble and a lot of pressure faced from Menino. Kind of just flicks it towards the sideline. Luckily, the only one there, that ball was in the air for quite some time. The only one there, Connors McCarthy, able to pull it in and get a couple out of it.
Uses his body that time, was Connors McCarthy, now under the gun. Menino gets a snap, hands it off. Cardillo gets a couple yards, and he goes to midfield. So now the offense starting to get a couple yards here. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 4.
All the guys in this running back tandem can move, but Cardillo has not gotten a lot of rushing attempts so far in this game, and now you're leaning on him heavily in one of the last drives of the game.
Menino gets a snap, throws it to the right side, and it looks like it's caught by Diawara for a first down. A big catch for the Red Foxes that time as he was tackled by Graves.
Had the quick window, Menino found it, and it was a quick hit right after. Good job on Diawara possessing and holding on to it for the first.
5:35 remaining in this game. Offense looking to the sideline for the play call.
This Marist team, very familiar with no huddle, taking a lot of time so far in this, and if they let this clock tick down, they have to punch it in the end zone.
Shannon now in the backfield, picks up the blitz. Menino delivers over the target and out of bounds. That time, looking for Willett.
Had him downfield. Menino takes a hit just as he's throwing. Unable to find it on the right sideline. Dexter in the area floats him.
So now 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. That one to the far side is Reed Dexter. And the backfield is Shannon. 5:11 remaining in this one. Menino looks to step up in the pocket. Instead is sacked by maybe a yard that time. Spellman again having a big impact along with Hafner up front.
Complete change of the dynamics right now. Marist has been playing much slower in between plays, still doing it right now. But if they don't convert here on this 3rd and long, it's going to be interesting decision time.
You're going to hope that you can get at least to the 40 to make it a manageable 4th down. Snap bobbled. Ends up going over to Malore, and he's able to get tackled that time at the 45-yard line by Franco. But a flag is on the play.
Right as Malore got tackled. Don't know if it's holding on one of the blockers on the screen or maybe if Valpo got a face mask on the tackle.
Illegal block in the back on Marist. That is going to be declined to make it a 4th and 11. Here it is. Decision time for Marist. Offense out on the field. There is 4 minutes and 28 seconds left, and not so fast. They are going to go with the punt unit.
Bit of a breath there. I was kind of shocked that the offense would stay on. It's a 4th and 12 at the midfield line. You'd set Valpo up pretty nice if you don't convert. Instead, try and pin him on this punt. Your defense has looked great. You have 3 timeouts, over 4 minutes.
Uskick, the punt. Back to receive is Graves. He punts it off. It's going to be in around the 10-yard line. He's able to fair catch it, and they're going to start at the 8. 1st and 10 at the 8. 4 minutes, 4 seconds to play. Valpo leads by 3. We got a doozy, folks.
It's a great punt to set it up, but now it's another huge ask from this Marist defense. You've been asking them the entire second half to step up, to hold Valpo. They've held them to 3 points in the second half, and the Marist offense has not taken over. Here comes the defense once again.
Tyler under the gun at the 2-yard line. Changing things up, motioning. It's going to be a handoff to who else but Mansoure. He gets maybe 2 or 3 yards and then gets stopped right away that time by the defensive front. Casanova involved on that one.
This Red Fox defense has excelled on those 1st down rushes that Valpo has presented to them. Been able to hold it really under 3 or less yards every time. And that has helped out the defense so much later on.
Now the refs are charging in. There's 3 minutes and 47 seconds left. It's going to be 2nd and 9 at their own 8 for Valpo.
As it currently stands, the play clock has 19. Time would still continue to churn.
They're going to reset the game clock to 3:39. Clock started before their signal.
Play clock also moves to 25, so just upping it a bit, and now they both tick away as Marist did not take a timeout off that first play. We'll see what kind of stoppage they can get on 2nd down, and then that's where the timeouts might start coming in.
Marist with 3 timeouts, and they also have the 2-minute timeout as well. Tight end in motion by Valpo. It goes off to the running back in Mansoray. He's going to get just short of the 15-yard line, and they're going to have to get 4 yards after that one. A couple of yards for Mansoray, and now makes it 3rd and about 4.
So the question was, how does the clock management go from here? And there's your answer. Mike Willis not using the timeouts quite yet.
3rd and 3 at the 14-yard line. 2:45 to play in this one. Marist down by 3. A big stop here will certainly help. Tyler motioning Thomas with movement. They're going to go to Mansoray to the right side. He stopped! He stopped! He is stopped that time by Werner. 2:25 to play. 4th down coming up for Valpo. Now it's the question, is it just going to be a 2-minute timeout, or is Marist going to call a timeout? And it looks like it's going to be a 2-minute timeout.
This Marist defense fueling the entire roster. Werner that time sets the edge, gets home in the backfield. No gain on the play, and here you go. Once again, giving the ball back to your offense. 3 timeouts to get it done.
It's going to be 3 timeouts, and if Valpo ends up deciding to punt the football, they'd probably get the football with a little bit more than 1:45, with also pretty darn good field position, you would assume. I would say you're probably going to get the ball no worse than your own 30, just based on the spot. Well, 2 minutes remaining. Marist down by 3. They'll have possibly the football after this. Welcome back here at Tenney.
It's punt time.
Diawara at the 38-yard line. Punting is Johnson.
He's had a couple good punts today. See the field positioning that happens here.
Big punt. He gets it off. Bounces at the 50 and goes the other way. Marist is going to have the football at the 48-yard line in Valpo territory. This is all you want right now, all you want.
You couldn't have a much bigger ask, especially as the offense. You've been asking your defense all half to make stops. They come up time and time again. And now here you go with ball already in enemy territory. The question is here, is it possible for Marist to even send this into overtime with the way they've been kicking this year? Or is it win or go home with a touchdown?
That's the question. Well, that won't have to be decided just yet because we got plenty of time on the clock. 1 minute, 52 seconds, 1st and 10. Give it to James on the left side. He just gets short of that 40-yard line, and he's tackled that time by Mark Johnson.
He had one guy in the way of him, not to cut it up the middle or try and get to the outside. Goes for the outside, just gets caught. But a big pickup on 1st.
2nd and 3. Menino gets the snap, looks to the left, over to Diawara. Is he good enough for a 1st down? That's the question. He is. 1st down, Marist. Chains continue to move. Marist starting to go at tempo. Clock continuing to roll. 1 minute, 25 seconds. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. 2 wide receivers to both sides. Diawara goes to the other side and fumbled snap, as that snap did not go to Menino, but Menino covers it up just in time. Marist looks like they called a timeout, and they do. 1 minute, 11 seconds remaining. 2nd and 13 now at the 40-yard line. Marist down by 3.
Well, heads up play by their quarterback, but how much danger are you trying to put yourself into? You, in 2 plays, get a first down. You look hot. The offense is rolling. Bad snap. It doesn't even go half an inch. It falls right on the ground, and Menino's got to pick it up.
Well, we have 71 seconds remaining in this game. Marist, 2 timeouts. Valpo, 3 timeouts.
Need a big chunk play here from the Red Fox offense. You can't afford to have a 3rd and long. You're in no spot to kick right now. It might be 4-down territory from where you stand.
You got to get at least to the 30 to even think about kicking. Right now they're at the 40. Lateral to Diawara. Is he going to pass? He's going to run. He's at the 40. He's got open grass, and he gets the first down. A big play by Diawara to pick up those chains and keep on moving.
The pitch back to Diawara, and for a little bit, he was frozen, scouting out the field. Where should he go? Menino on the left side wanted him to flip it back to him. He had some space on the left. Diawara, the patience works out. Reads the field, sees the right side open, goes down, and now it's a 3rd and short.
3rd and inches. Menino under the gun. James right next to him on the left side. They're going to look to pass. Menino looking to the right side in the end zone, and it's batted away by the Valpo defense. A huge play by Valpo.
Trying to find his guy, Will Downs. It was a pinpoint pass, but better defense. The deflection, the pass breakup, and now brings up 4th and the game on the line.
Interesting decision to go with the pass there.
Yeah, especially Menino dropped back. They were only rushing 4. It looked like he had an option on the right side, a lot of free room, and he's been using his legs all day. I'm shocked that he didn't go run.
All of the targets move to the right side. Shannon in the backfield. They give it over. Menino looks back, tries to throw it to Connors McCarthy, and it's batted in the air. It's incomplete. 50 seconds remain. Marist has 2 timeouts, and it looks like it's going to be very troublesome.
Even with the 2 timeouts, there's going to be the 3rd down where you can't freeze the clock, so if Valpo can shave off 10 or more seconds in the 3 plays, this game is all wrapped up.
Defense coming up away huge for Valpo, especially back-to-back plays where they just bat that ball up in the air. And now, if you're Marist, best case scenario, you're getting the football with maybe 5 seconds left.
Yeah, we'll see what Valpo does. They could afford to lose yardage and just waste clock. They don't need it.
They hand it off to Mansoure, and they're just going to try to push him forward to waste as much clock as possible. 42 seconds remain, and now, after that, just rolled 8 seconds left.
Yep.
It looks like this one will be over, and Valpo will get their first conference win of the season, their 3rd win of the season, to make it 3-5 and 1-3 in the PFL.
Marist freezes the clock with a timeout, but Valpo, it's just 2 knees away. Even with the 1 timeout that Marist has remaining, they'll be able to shave enough clock, and that'll be all she wrote. It's a real shame this Marist defense has come to play on that first rush. You can clearly tell they're trying to punch out that ball from Mansoure. It was really their only option on a fumble there. And you got to go back to that 3rd and 1, Derek. You decide not to run it. Even Menino on the drop back looked like he had some room. Marist with plenty of time on the clock. It would have been acceptable to just roll out, try and pick up the first. It was only a yard away. Even if you got that, you had plenty of time on the clock, a couple timeouts. You're pushing red zone. 2 pass breakups on 2 pass attempts on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. And that caps it off.
It's been about the second half. Valpo scored, got a field goal in the 3rd quarter. Marist did not score a single point in the second half. Valpo going to take a knee. However, the clock didn't start. Although it looks like Marist called a timeout and it only took off 2 seconds. So now it's going to be 3rd and about 8.
I know you have the timeout to work with if you're Coach Willis, but at this point, as long as this play lasts 1 second, which has to happen, Valpo's got this on the knee. The play clock will waste 40 seconds after the play. 40 seconds on the game clock at the moment. It's 1 knee away, and this game's over.
It is. But when you look at this game in a nutshell, 14-14 at halftime. Second half, it was all about the third quarter. Valpo scored, got a field goal. Marist has not scored in the second half.
The offense stalled. A couple of plays didn't go their way on some crucial 3rd and 4th downs. And that's just the way it spins.
And they take the final knee, and the clock will roll out. Valpo becomes victorious in this one. They win their first game in conference this season to make it 1-3 in the PFL and 3-5 overall. Marist remains winless as they now are 0-8 overall, 0-5 in the PFL.
Yeah, it's a tough break. It was an attainable game. Marist competed the entire way. The defense brought the energy, fueled this team, and the offense just simply couldn't get it done. And now you're on the road at Drake. It's a tough competition on the next one, much harder and much less winnable game than it was today. So now Marist doesn't pick up that first win, and it's going to be interesting to see with 3 games left on the schedule if they can find one in the win column.
I mean, when you look at the schedule, you're going to be at Drake. That's going to be in Iowa. That's going to be a tough game. Going into today, Drake was 5-1, only 1 loss. Then you look to play at Stetson. Stetson going into today has not won a Pioneer League game. Then your last home game on November 16th against Presbyterian. They have not won a Pioneer game yet. So when you look at the schedule in a nutshell, you're going to circle the Stetson game, you're going to circle the Presbyterian game, and you're going to try to fight as hard as you can against Drake because Drake is a very good team in the Pioneer.
Yeah, and against that Drake team, it's kind of time to open the playbook and see what works and what doesn't, because you really need to pick up one of those wins on the last 2 games, hopefully 2, end the season on a high note, get on a little bit of a win streak at the end. Because a couple of the decisions and a couple of the plays, how they worked out today, just wasn't able to get it done in the crucial situations. Have to tweak that up.
Tough game for Marist. They lose this one 17-14 against Valpo. Valpo gets their first conference win of the season. Alongside Tommy Armstrong, I'm Derek DeGallo. Final score of this one, Valpo 17, Marist 14.